Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Monster Sanctuary. If you are indeed watching this later as a VOD, if you're in stream chat right now, welcome. So, whoa, that was a bad voice crack. So, when I last left off, I got my butt kicked. I got my butt kicked real bad. So, this time, I'm grinding up so I can fight the boss that kicked my butt. Simple as. I'm gonna use the monster bell to bring back the monsters. Okay. These monsters are higher level than me, so it'll mean they'll probably put up a much bigger fight than other places, so it's the perfect place for training, I feel. Hey Andy, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. So how was your workout yesterday? Pretty good, just chilling today. Based. And we'll use Solar Burst. Strategy here is pretty simple. We've just gotta shield up like crazy and just hammer them with fire attacks. That's all we gotta do. Good so far. You've used a couple of my streams to pass the day during your. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Wait, how are you typing the? How do you type while you're doing cardio? Like, you're just typing up on your phone or your iPad or whatever while you're running on your. I'm assuming on a treadmill or something. How are you doing that? That's pretty crazy. Because whenever I work out, which is almost never because I'm lazy, I just have to like put on. I have to like stop or like slow down to mess around on my phone, like for music or YouTube videos, on your phone in between reps. Ah, I see. Have an elliptical, so it's pretty. Oh, okay, yeah, that would. Yeah, okay, that would make more sense. I was imagining you like running on a treadmill in a gym. Treadmill? A treadmill in a gym, which sounds a lot harder to type while running on that. So, are you ready for Legends Arceus to come out this week? I believe it's this week, isn't it? It's this Friday. I don't have it pre-ordered, so I'm just gonna go to the local Best Buy and hope they have one. If not, I'm gonna be driving around all day looking for one. You know, it's the most yeah, Friday. Yeah, I thought so. You know, it's the most inconvenient timing too, because literally just today I sent in because I have 4 Joy-Cons, 2 right and 2 left. I sent in both left Joy-Cons into Nintendo through the UPS today, just so they could fix the drift. I literally sent them in today. So I'm gonna have to play Pokemon Legends Arceus completely on docked mode with my Pro Controller. Which, I mean, there's no problem with that. It's just that I'm used to, like, I tend to play Switch, a handheld, lying in bed, you know, reclining, relaxed. I can't wait for Burke to, like, not know what the hell is going on in that in that game. Depends for you, on the game. Like, only some games work as handhelds. I think the whole appeal of the Switch, honestly, is just the handheld. Like, I have literally played games that are, like, inoptimal on Switch. Like, the graphics and how it runs are terrible compared to, like, all the other systems. But because it's handheld, I'll still get it on the Switch. Like, so I guess I can't really... I don't really have much room to say nothing. Dude, I don't even know what the hell is going on. Well, it's simple! I can't talk about it because spoilers, leaks, for potential viewers who might care. Yeah, no, it seems like a mess. I don't know how to feel about it. We'll see. As long as they add in some cool lore, that's all I ask. Add in some cool lore for me to nerd out about. Because if there's one thing I hate about, like, modern Pokemon is that they make a lot of legendaries that are mythicals that don't feel like they deserve to be legendaries or mythicals. That's my least favorite thing. Like, if they're gonna make a ton of new Pokemon game, like, make it very lore heavy and dump that stuff, you know? Give us a ton of info on it. Make it really, really lore heavy. That's what I'm interested in. Streaming in 40 minutes, this may sound weird, but do you just want to hang out on Discord while we both do our separate streams, just us chatting? Sure, why not? I don't mind. Keep each other busy while we're streaming. Because otherwise, just chat with me on my stream. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. You know what Pokemon I hate? Zeraora. I don't like Zeraora because it doesn't make any sense. Like, why? We have like 1,000,001 Pokemon already that are like thunder elementals, and that's why they're legendaries or mythicals, because they're like the embodiment of lightning or thunder. So what the hell is the purpose of Zeraora? It serves no purpose. Doesn't have a presence in the story. So it's not like an important character. It's literally just... it just exists, cuz. Which is fine, I guess, but why does that warrant it being a mythical? The design is fun. I don't like the design, bro. Look, I'm gonna be real, dude. Design looks like... it looks like a furry bait Digimon. It looks like a fur bait Digimon. I'm not gonna lie to you. I say that as a fan of Pokemon. It looks like a fur bait Digimon. Still can't believe those Arceus screenshots are real. Yep. Tell you what, Boomhauer. You ever seen King of the Hill? I love King of the Hill. It's funny. Well, I think it's obvious what we call you. It's a bug, so we're gonna call it Arachne. I mean, I know technically spiders aren't bugs, but whatever. Classic show. Dude, I don't know who wouldn't like King of the Hill, man. No one I want to know, that's for sure. You know what? I think I'm gonna switch Hades for... I think I'm gonna switch Arachne in over Hades. Hades just isn't really doing much. What about Phoenix, Arizona? Is still your favorite quote in the show because it applies to Minnesota as well. This city should not exist. It's a testament to man's arrogance. Yep. That's just Los Angeles. Los Angeles shouldn't exist. It's in the middle of the friggin' desert. But they refuse to just accept that it should not be. Let's teach Arachne some new skills, shall we? Looks like a magical attacker more than anything. This city should not exist. It is a testament to man's arrogance. Warlock healing. For every heal applied, there's a 10% chance to apply poison, weakness, or armor break on a random enemy. Every hit has a 15% chance to apply a stack of tether. Tether being it decreases the chance to dodge by 10% and damage dealt by 5%. Ooh. Apply poison debuff on a random enemy at the start of combat. That's good. Severe upkeep. Whenever an enemy takes poison or burn, debuff damage, 50% chance to inflict a wound stack on them. Physical, heal by 50% of the damage dealt. These an additional 20% hit for every poison on the target. What should I do here? Oh, I'm stupid. Me. I'm gonna use this. I messed up. Okay, now let's redo this. Okay, one here. One here. One here. I want you and you. I want you. You and you. I want you and you. Okay. I forgot we're not up to 30 on this one, so... Okay. Every hit has a 25% chance to remove a buff from the target. That's pretty good. Sticky web hits all enemies, applies a stack of tether. Go with that. Antitoxins at the beginning of each turn heal a random debuff from this monster. That's fantastic. On you. Whenever a monster in the party gains a non-channel buff, 12% chance they also gain channel. Recover 5 mana when healed. Applies spell shield and agility. We'll go ahead and get these. Multi-channel. Channel can be stacked 2 additional times. Okay. Applies channel regeneration and sidekick. Shroud level 2. Channeling balance. Channel buff also increases the damage dealt by 6%. And reduces the damage taken by 6%. Defense proc. Every attack triggers an additional hit equal to 50% of defense value. We'll hold off on that. Every buff action applies 1 additional random buff. Shroud level 3. Full utility 2. Buffing heal. When applying a buff, also heal the target by 50% of this monster's magic. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Still have 5 points. We'll hold off on those for now. I want to wait till it gets to level 30. Okay, let's see here. Let's give it some equipment. Go ahead and give you the staff +4. We're gonna also give you... Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll give Diadem +4. Give the Tome +3. And... the Ocarina +3, I guess. Any of these other skills can be upped at all. Eight, 6, 8, 18. We're gonna switch you for the Gauntlet +4. This is fine. Shell +4. No, that should be okay. That should be fine for now. Wizard hat. That's fine. That's fine. Giving you the Morning Star. I'm gonna switch this out for the belt. Oh, you need your stuff updated bad. Crit chance and crit damage at 7 and 17. Maybe I'll up that next time I go into town. As for you... maybe claws. Yeah, this should work for now. Okay, let's feed him some stuff. Alright. Who does the most crits? You. And also you. Let's see. For the mana, we'll go for you. For you. And you. Then for defense. That looks good. Alright. Alright, that looks good for now. Alright, I want to use a crystal shard to go back into town and update some of our equipment. We have not done that in a long while, and it's probably about time. Just getting a drink of water real quick. Oh yeah, Andy, by the way, just tell me whenever you go on in Discord and I'll join you on there and chat. Alright. Time to go to the blacksmith. Oh, it's over here. I'm an idiot. Guys, I'm so smart. I pay so much attention to things. Yes, I would like to upgrade my monster's armor. Thank you. Upgrade this. Upgrade this. We'll upgrade this. We'll upgrade this. We're gonna upgrade this for sure. Upgrade this. Upgrade this. Looks like that's all we can update at the moment on our party. Alright, well. Oh, I see. Interesting. Yeah, how do I upgrade everything else? Tell me. There we go. This needs 2 steel. Oh, do I not have steel in here? That's a shame. You've watched enough of my streams that this music is burrowed into your brain? I mean, it's good music, honestly. Genuinely, I think it's pretty good. that needs a silk. And another azure gem. Can't buy silk. That's unfortunate. But I can upgrade this. I think that's all I can really upgrade now for sure. So down we go. Gonna buy some more items. So I am thoroughly lacking in that department. Alright, that should be good for now. We've spent pretty much all of the money that I owned. Okay. Well, we found this area. Might as well explore it. I'll start from over here. Might as well start from might as well explore this area from top to bottom since we kind of just skimmed through it earlier. And that way, I can explore and grind for the next boss at the same time. Okay, so you head up. I want to start from the beginning of that place, so starting from the bottom. That's why we spawned outside of it. Oh, dang it. Well, we're gonna have to beat these guys. It's my bad. Alright, well, one down at least. Alright, we'll take out the one at the back now. Hopefully the bleed will take... Oh, okay, never mind. It's gone regardless. Freeze! Everybody clap your hands. Fiery stabs. Get that bleeding off. Finish it with explosion. You're done. One monster per turn taken out. Only 4 stars, though. That's disappointing. Considering how easy that was, I'm surprised that I didn't get a full 5, but we take what we can get in this house, I suppose. Ah! That one was my own fault. I wasn't paying attention. Take out the bat. That's what they say about Batman in Gotham City. Take out the bat. Explosion here. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. Fire stabs. There we go. Explosive blast level 2. He'll be gone in one more attack. Goodbye. Now please get out of my way. 4 stars. Okay. And now we move on to bigger and better things. Okay, now we can properly explore the area, since we didn't really last time. I have to check every area for a hidden wall. It's a rule. Look at these dudes. Alright, 2 of them are weak to swords, and one of them's weak to wind. Start with you. We'll move into you. And we'll go into you. Power. Fire stabs. And dragon skin. Probably should have switched the order of the last 2, but that's my bad. Spectral flame. Poison cloud. Do not like that. Explosion. Fiery stabs. And quicken. And stone rain. Spectral flame. Poison cloud. Explosion here. Let's heal you. Good, good, good. And there we go. And chill. Good, good. Restore. Dang it! Stone Rain, level 3. Spectral Flame. That's fine, my bird can revive. Explosion? There we go. One of them's gone. Lightning Slash. Chilling Wind. Oh man, already down to half health on that one. Stone Rain. Poison Cloud. Oh jeez. It's going to take out my board. It did not take out my board. Good. Feather Storm. Lightning Slash. We'll do a Chilling Wind here. And hopefully the bleed will take out the little guy in the middle. There we go. Explosion. Good. Lightning slash. Wow, that did barely anything. Alright, chilling wind, level 4. Poison cloud. Okay, la. Somehow my bird did not go down. I'm truly impressed by that. Anyways, they're done. Gonna give us an egg? No, you are not. Well, that sucks. An Oculus, huh? What is it weak to? Okay, literally same setup as last time then. Alright, proper order this time. Dragon skin. And fiery stabs in the front. Solar burst. Poison bomb level 5. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Okay, la. Explosion. Quicken. Combo potion. Spectral flame, that's fine. Oh, triple poison. This is not good. This is the opposite of good. This is, in fact, bad. Ice claws. Lightning slash. Oh, that wasn't enough. Oh god. Oh joy. Well, revive. And now you have none of the buffs. Wonderful. Ice Claw time. Fiery stabs. Come on, take it out. There we go. Okay, good. Slime shots. Oh my god, 5 stacks of poison. It's insanity. Alright, gonna go get your stream set up. If you want to chat over your VC on Discord, let me know. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, alright. I'll check in there in a few minutes then. Okay. Explosion. Chilling wind. Fire stabs. This is rough, man. This poison is rough. Explosion. Chilling wind. And let's switch use Phoenix Tier. Explosion. Shields. Let's see. Just 1 second. Explosion. Ice Claws. Shields. See, I'm stupid for not coming into these fights with shields. That's what my mistake was. Okay, let's see. Some more explosions. Ice Claw! And even more shields. Just gotta keep that up. Poison Bomb. Man, they really want to take my Wyvern out. That's fine, I can revive it. You guys thought. You thought. Okay. Take out the boarded. Wow, that was disheartening. This has become a battle of attrition. Oh, its health keeps going up. Stop. Solar Burst level 2, Poison Bomb level 4, and great, 3 layers of poison. That's what I needed. But at least it didn't heal. I'll take that. Finish it. Defeated is the monster! Alright, finally, we just have to focus on that thing. So, we are going to be joining Andy in call on Discord, and him and me will just chat while we're out both streaming, playing games. Obviously, that doesn't stop anyone from in stream talking to me if you'd like to, or in chat talking to me if you'd like to. Obviously, I'll still talk back to you. I'm still going to be commentating on the game. But you know, the more is the merrier, right? Hey! Kai Dig-a-Dig, thank you for the follow. Or thank you for the hosting. And thank you, Marifrenzossi, for the follow. I appreciate that very much. Yellow. We are playing some Monster Sanctuary today. And in just a few minutes from now, my friend Andy, the Hussar, he's going to be streaming. And I'll be joining him on Discord, voice call. We'll just be shooting the shit and chatting while we play Monsters. While I play Monster Sanctuary. It'll be a great time for all. My model is funny. What's so funny about my costume? Huh? What's so bad about my drip? My shirt and my jacket. My dad gave me. My papa, he made me this drip. Thank you. Hey Sans, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it very much. So what you mean I look funny? What you mean I look funny? Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Oh, wait. That's, okay, no. I have already been here. Alright, so for those who are not aware... Also, I'm going to put down the volume on the music just a little bit. Okay, so... For those who are just joining... Hi! Hey, Sans. How's it going? Funny, I mean handsome. That's what I thought! That's what I thought! That's what I thought you said. My mom says I'm handsome. Thank you very much. So, for those of you just joining, or who have never been to my stream before, I am currently, I got my butt kicked by a boss fight in a different area. So, I've been exploring a new area, which I'm in right now, and I'm trying to como se dice? That was the most white way I could say that. I am trying to level up while exploring a new area, so that once I'm finished exploring, I'll be stronger, and then I can go back and fight the boss. Truly the most brilliant of plans. Murray Franzosi, thank you for the cheer. Thank you for the bits. I really appreciate that. I have affiliate set up. I just got affiliate status recently. Unfortunately, I do not have many of the, like, rewards that, like, I've applied for them, but they haven't been approved yet. I only have a single emote that they've allowed so far. It was really weird, right? So when Discord, when Twitter was like, hey, you can start uploading your emotes for approval, and I uploaded the first 5. They were like, all right, none of these are acceptable except for this one, and then it only gave me, it only let me submit a single one of them. Or it only approved one of the 5 that I submitted, and that was it. That was the only one for some reason. So that's the only one I have to give away so far. But thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, it looks like my friend Andy is ready to chat. So let's go ahead and give him a call, and you guys will be able to hear him, of course.
Is this a Mr. Titus?
Hello.
How are you doing, Mr. Dinosaur?
I'm doing well. How are you? Oh, hang on. The volume of the music in the game is currently overpowering your voice. Give me a second to fix that.
I know. I do adjust my music as well. Hopefully people in my chat will let me know if something is wrong.
Don't worry, just give me one sec. Okay, audio. Okay. There you go.
You sound here. If I'm looking at my mixer, you sound pretty good. Like, I think you're loud enough to be overheard. Be heard over the music.
Yep. All right. Yeah, they can. I think they can hear you now. Chat, let me know if you can hear my buddy Andy or not. You need to have more subs to get more emotes, I guess. There's some subcap goals. Yeah. I was just telling my chat about how I submitted my 5 emotes and only one of them has been approved so far.
Ah, that sucks. That's annoying. Have the other been rejected, or are you still waiting for them to be approved?
The other haven't been rejected. They just haven't said if they're allowed yet or not. It's kind of weird, to be honest.
Interesting. Also, I just realized I didn't even have... There we go. Now my gameplay's working. My poor stream. I need to figure out... I need to get in contact with the emote artist. When I was going with originally, I looked at her Twitter and she's been offline for months, so I don't think she's still doing commissions.
Yeah, you might need to get a new person there.
So, chat, Titus is playing, what is it called? Monster Sanctuary?
Yes, sir.
And for Titus's chat, I am playing some Halo Reach Forge. I am dicking around in Forge mode, making a custom map. It's just because normally we're either in, me or him are in the other person's stream, just chatting with the other. Since we both happen to be streaming, I'm like, why don't we just actually chat, like, while we're both streaming, to spice things up. Although we can't talk about Pokemon because we got to save that for our Pokemon streams.
That's true. We have to save it for our Pokemon stream this weekend.
Anyway, let's talk about Legends Arceus. I think the screenshots look like a Unity engine game.
Bro, we just said... Do I know a guy? I don't know a guy.
No guy.
We said we would talk about it later. What's my friend's name so I can follow? My friend's name is Andy.
Andy_Usaru.
Yep, Andy__Usaru.
Make things easier because I'm still in your chat. And I'm streaming at the exact same time as he is. For whatever reason, we have like the exact same schedule, which is why Titus is like the only one of all the other YouTubers that I follow whose streams I can actually tune into. So I'm like, his streams are the only ones like where I'm still awake.
It's especially
just
funny
getting
to
off of
me
work.
because like, it's like, it's not even like we're in the same time zone, so it's like, it's really funny.
Oh yeah. My time zone is 2 hours later. That's the time zone that I live in. So if I have to do something in the morning, I can only do it 2 hours later. That was a joke.
Andy, you're so funny. Holy crap. Sorry, that was me.
I sound like the guy at that, oh god, was it GDQ? I'd really prefer if you stopped talking.
Yeah.
They had they were doing, wasn't it last week that they were doing GDQ again? That was when their stream happened.
I don't really keep up with
They
games
do it
done
every
quick.
year. I've stopped keeping up with them just because they're such a weird organization. But
I've heard they've had some controversies. I don't know about what. I just know that they've had some.
they've had a lot. Their organization is pretty bad. Like the actual company that runs it. Like they're very quick to ban speedrunners.
Also, no problem, Murray Franzosi.
I'm just making a map here, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
By the way, chat, let me know if you can hear Andy okay or not. If you can't, feel free to let me know so I can try and up his volume. Okay, let's see. You can hear him? Okay, great. Bueno.
Good to know that I sound great.
Bueno.
There was a collab stream we did. I forget it was me, Valiant. I think Metal Bro was with us. It was Dead by Daylight. Was it Valiant in that? I know Catmon was. And for whatever reason, I was just so quiet that stream, and nobody told me on Discord.
Oh.
So on everybody's stream, I noticed it too, like where I'd be talking, people would just talk over me. Like they'd hear me, but then if there was a conversation going on, nobody would respond. I realized it's because my Discord was so low, and none of them told me.
Murray Franzosi,
Listening back to the stream.
Murray Franzosi, by the way, said they think you have a nice deep voice, which I agree with. Andy has a very deep voice. I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I hate having the voice of like a 15-year-old teenage boy.
Titus, do you want to know the secret? Do you want to know a secret?
Yeah, what's the secret?
Nobody on planet Earth likes their voice. Not even voice actors like their voice. Well, maybe some voice actors, but
no,
everybody else,
that's true. It's
nobody
true.
likes I guarantee if you went up to Nolan North and asked him if he could just slightly adjust his voice, would he do it? He would absolutely say yes. He'd be like, yeah, I want my voice to be a little different.
You're right.
Nobody likes their voice.
No, you're right. You're right. It's I don't know. It's a little frustrating, but because I mean, like, I am an actor. You know, I try and like, I've tried to audition for voiceover stuff before, and with very, very little success. And like, you just see so many auditions that you just can't go for because they are just so far out of your wheelhouse. Like, I could never be a traditional protagonist, like male, like lead, because I'm not like, I don't have the voice of a macho man, you know what I mean? Or like a suave dude.
You find it cool how you and Burke are both into like professional voice acting, and here I am just digging around on a Blue Yeti mic. Like, oh, these guys are actually serious.
Hey man, if it works, it works. Like,
I was actually looking for a new microphone. The problem is, to actually get a good setup, I need like a full-blown sort of recording room, or not a recording room, but like I need to like soundproof my room, put in those what are they called, the like foam pads that you put on the walls.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Need a mixer, and then it's to the point where like I could try to go for something medium level, or I could actually, for just a little bit more money, get something nice and professional. But for that latter one, I'd have to actually like, I'm gonna move soon, I'm gonna have to get a room ready. It's something where I'm constantly like pushing it back. But like I could get a better mic for like a couple $100, but would it even be worth it? That's what I constantly debate.
No, that's fair. I get that.
Also, I think I mentioned this. I have a YouTube channel that I don't even plug. It's kind of like a side thing. Or actually, this is more of a side thing to that. That channel has been on hiatus for a long time. I started that back in high school. So I'm going back and listening to some of the old videos, and I sound so high-pitched, it is not even funny. And it's like, even today I was watching videos from like 5 years ago, and I'm like, did I really sound like that? Did I really sound that nasally and that high pitched?
We all
did. It's so bizarre.
All of us did.
Everybody sounded like that.
Murray Franzosi said it's a good contrast, our voices. I sound like the comic relief friend, but my voice is good too. That's exactly the thing, is so when you're an actor, you tend, unless you're like someone like a really fantastic, like we're talking like Robin Williams level talent, where he could play dramas and comedies, you know, he could basically do whatever he wanted. You tend to get typecasted as like a specific kind of role, right? And so that definitely was my role. It was, I am the comic relief, specifically like the chubby comic relief. That was like the Jonah Hill or like Jack Black or what's his name, the guy who plays Olaf in Frozen, like that kind of a thing. You know what I mean? I have to redo this whole puzzle. Fuck. Oh no. Yeah, but it's like, you know, literally that archetype of the comedic best friend character to the protagonist. That's basically what my vocal type is. And I mean, that's
even
fine.
now I'm like, because like people have complimented on my voice, but the problem is I'm just not a good speaker.
Right.
It's always like, God, this voice is just being wasted. And then I still don't even like my voice.
You could just take some voice lessons.
Good, I could try that.
Ned from Spider-Man. Exactly. That is exactly.
Hey,
That's exactly the character type that I'm talking
Ned
about.
From
Yes.
Spider-Man is a hero. Also, what is up, Grizz? Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for being on my side, Grizz.
I can evolve from there. It's true. It's true.
So I'm talking to Grizz right now. Grizz, I played. He a while ago he recommended me a game, Neon Abyss. Played a little bit of it, and it's good. I like the combat. I like the gameplay. It's like a 2D run and gun, but I do not like how it's a roguelike. I don't. That's the one part about it that I don't like. The gameplay is actually really good, really fun. I just don't like how it's a roguelike. Like that whole part kind of ruins the game for me.
Andy said roguelikes. He got really upset.
It's true. Yeah, I do not like that genre.
Nah, you're fine.
I'll see this cool game concept, and it's like, oh man, this is like a retro throwback game. It's, oh my gosh, the music's cool, the graphics are cool. Oh, it's a roguelike. Oh, and then I never looked at it again.
There's actually news going around that after the DLC that they're making for this game, which by the way is crazy. Like apparently for free, the creators of this game I'm playing, they're like, yeah, we're gonna make a new area with 100 new monsters in it. By the way, which is like almost half of what's already in the game. And then they're like, and then after that, we're gonna make another Monster Catcher game, but this time it's gonna be like a procedurally generated like roguelike. So I was just gonna say you could try that, but then but yeah, no, Andy doesn't like roguelikes. What did the roguelikes do to you, Andy? How did they hurt you?
I don't like dying and your progress being reset. I don't like RNG stuff.
All right, nice. We got the items. All right.
I don't like levels being randomized either. And it depends. Like I think Left 4 Dead is the best case of what randomized level design should be, where you have these intricate, well-made levels that work on their own. Then there's just a little layer of RNG beyond that.
Right.
Also, Grizz, can you let me know if my model, the frame rate for that is choppy as I move around? It looks like it on my OBS. I alt-tab into Halo Reach. It seems to get choppy for me. I don't know if that's coming through on the stream. It's okay. All right, I'll have to keep an eye on my stream then, just to make sure. Oh yeah, it is really choppy, isn't it? Because I'm looking at it. I don't know how to fix that. I think that might just be.
You're the Wi-Fi.
Maybe it's connected through my computer. Like there's no Wi-Fi for that. So like when I alt tab out of it right now, Grizz, it's all smooth. Yeah, sorry about that, Grizz. I don't know if there's a way to make it not do that, because that would be kind of annoying if that's what I have to deal with.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Yeah.
Unironically, I mean, sometimes it just work like that,
We're gonna turn off. Wonder if just like I have so much stuff going on. And this never happened with the 2D model either.
Do you have not amazing Wi-Fi?
It's not the Wi-Fi. So I have Wi-Fi streaming to my computer.
Okay.
And that, where I actually get the face tracking, and that is pretty smooth. But when it's actually being outputted to stream, it's all choppy. And it's only choppy when I'm in game. So like when I alt tab out of it, it seems fine. Like Saturday night stream, or no, Friday night stream. I was in just chatting. I didn't have any other programs open. It was running just fine. I'm not exactly sure anything I can actually do about it.
I'd say maybe
Kind of
it's
worries-
Discord, but we've literally did calls where we talk over Discord, and nothing's happened.
Although we haven't done with 3D. That's my new 3D.
Oh.
I'm talking about my new 3D model.
Maybe your 3D
I
model
don't-
can't take both.
Grizz, I do not have the new Siege. I don't have. It's the one with aliens, right, Grizz? I don't have that.
Aliens.
Yeah, Rainbow Six now has aliens in it, because that's the world that we live in. I don't have Game Pass either, Grizz.
Everything's gotta have zombies or aliens.
I
or
like to
the-
own my games.
Or the multiverse.
Oh, it's what every. Yeah, I guess that is true. Everything has to be one of those things.
Just nothing
weird, like,
original.
Model will be choppy, but then every now and then it'll get all smooth.
So, Andy, tell me something.
Yes.
Have you heard the news?
The word.
Oh,
I've heard that bird is the word.
come on, man. Like, come on.
Okay, that's a good old. That's like a 2009 joke. That's how far back I'm making references.
Yeah, dude, I love Family Guy. My favorite cartoon. Totally.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm still busy trying to look at. I'm looking at my stream.
No, you're good.
Delayed. I'm trying to make sure that to see how my model is. Yeah, it goes from being choppy to like smooth. It seems to be random. I don't know if it might actually just be my stream, my CPU usage. I don't know. Anyway, what were you saying, Titus?
I was just saying, have you heard the news that there's rumors that there might not be a Gen 9 this year, which I really highly doubt, but
I don't know if that would be a lot of work for Game Freak to put out Gen 9.
have to sleep
Yu-Gi-Oh's
now.
on Game Pass? What?
All right, Murray Franzosi, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. You have a nice night. Get some rest. Thanks for stopping by.
Titus would want to know about that if Yu-Gi-Oh's on Game Pass.
I like Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh accessories.
Yeah, I know a guy who does Yu-Gi-Oh streams.
Good night.
Still pretty
I play Yu-Gi-Oh on Wednesdays.
Just gonna have to leave my Twitch stream open so I can check to make sure that it's because I didn't have this problem when I was doing just chatting, when I wasn't playing a game. Also, this is really disorienting because I'm playing the game and then I'm looking over at my stream, which is like 5 seconds delayed.
Have you tried like re-optimizing the settings on your model?
I'm not the one who made the model, so I'd have to ask the artist if she optimized it. Again, it's not the program itself. Like, that is running smoothly on my computer. It's just OBS.
Ah, weird.
Don't know.
You could try. I mean, well, I guess that wouldn't be really much of a solution, would it? So you could just switch to your 2D model, but that defeats the point of having a 2D one.
And
Doesn't
I was about to say
3D one.
that defeats the point of my 3D. But the 3D one's meant to just replace it. Like, that was the whole idea. Also, it didn't happen when I was recording. I was recording some test streams, and so it seems to just be when OBS is actually streaming. So it might actually just be internet. In which case, there's nothing I can really do about it.
Rip. It'd be like that sometimes, honestly.
Whole OBS program that's garbage, but everybody uses. OBS is like the frats for the modern age, where everybody used it, even though it was garbage, but because it was the only thing that people could use.
Gotta make do. Got 'em VTubers make do.
It seems to be noticing it looks a little better, but I don't know if that's just me hoping that it looks better. Anyway, what were we saying? What were we talking about?
I don't even remember.
About roguelites, I think. How I hate them. Yeah, Grizz. Next month will be hyped. Why will next month be hyped, Grizz?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I'm thinking of, hopefully if I have a new outfit ready by Valentine's Day, I hope, for my model, I hope that'll be the case, in which case I'm also going to do a funny Valentine's Day stream. May or may not be playing a dating sim.
I'm sorry, I can't picture you playing a dating sim. I can't.
No, I've literally never touched one.
Not even like as a joke, like while you're streaming with buddies, like, you know, just vibing?
No.
Really?
They're just boring. Visual novels are boring to me.
Yeah, I don't vibe with visual. I think I've said this before, but just to be quick about it, I played the Ace Attorney trilogy recently, and I've been working through it for the past year. Because, like, I have a lot of friends into Ace Attorney. And, like, the story and characters are really interesting. But the entire time I was just thinking, man, I would really just rather watch this as, like, an anime or read it as a book instead of playing it.
I know what you mean. It's like, yeah, there'll be a visual novel, then I'm like, the story could be fun, but it's just, I don't like it. I don't like visual novels. Then I'm always like, I could be playing a real game right now. Like doing something else. People who
Dude,
just
you can't
play
say
visual
that,
novels,
bro. You can't say that.
more
You're gonna
power.
get canceled.
More power to you. I'm gonna get canceled, and then you're gonna get canceled for talking to me. And you're gonna go on your Twitter
Have you
spree.
ever thought about that? Like, I mean, I like to think most people don't think that they're, like, cancelable. But, like, have you ever really thought about how kind of messed it up it is that, like, you could just innocently say something and not mean anything bad by it? And then you could just be canceled?
Even this, saying this right now will get us canceled.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. That's what I mean. Like, you know, like... I mean, I'm not even saying, like, obviously, you know, if someone's done something wrong, I would hope that they, you know, they suffer consequences of some kind for it, but, like, it's gotten a bit ridiculous for some people. Like, some there have been some weird cases, because of it. It's kind of just like I don't know. Wait, I don't want to talk about that. We shouldn't talk about this.
Sorry. Well, Grizz, this model doesn't have... This is going to sound so out of context, what I'm about to say to Titus's stream. Grizz, my current model does not have nipples, so you don't need to worry about that.
It means you're a clone.
Also, Grizz, when you say... You listed off those 3 games, which actually sounds pretty awesome. Which is Shadow Warrior 3, which I'm looking forward to. I love Shadow Warrior. Elden Ring and Dying Light 2. Are those just coming out, or are those on Game Pass? Because I had no idea Game Pass included, like, new games. I thought it was, like, it would put in a bunch of older games in it. Either way, that next month is going to be crazy. Except for Dying Light 2. I don't think anybody cares about Dying Light. I was the only person who played Dying Light 1. But Titus doesn't even know what that game is.
I've heard of it.
Like a parkour zombie game.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I've definitely seen gameplay clips of it, but it's not the kind of game I would play.
Made by the same guys who did, I think it is made by the same guys who did Dead Island, if I remember correctly. Because the gameplay is very similar too, where you're just crafting like melee weapons, whacking zombies with like baseball bats and stuff. I don't know. I gravitate towards open world zombie games, and that one wore me out.
Excuse me. I did not get a great night's sleep last night.
I have no idea who's looking forward to Dying Light 2. Age of Empires 4 is coming to Game Pass, apparently.
Oh, we got story, we got dialogue. Hang on, I gotta narrate a little bit, Andy. Hang on a second.
Warhammer 40k.
Should I mute myself on Discord while I narrate so that you're
If you want to.
I don't talk over you?
And
Alright.
if you want to.
Alright, give me just a second.
Well, I don't think he'll need to mute me as well, because otherwise I'm just talking and bugging people on the stream. Right now, even, as I'm talking. Which Warhammer 40k Grizz? Is that Space Marine 2? That's a game I'm actually looking forward to.
Greetings. My name is Trevisan. You must be a monster keeper. Oh, I didn't mute. That must be another one of the alchemists. Let's get him. You must have met some of my former colleagues. Don't worry, I'm not an official member of the Order of Alchemists anymore. I don't even have any monsters. I'm a scholar, not a fighter. That's why I was drawn to alchemy. It was the first time I found something that I could get recognition for. It was with great pain that I had to leave the Order, but I have a certain suspicion about Marduk, the leader of the Order. If you help me, I will gladly share my suspicion with you, Keeper, but first I need to confirm these suspicions. That's why I'm here. I need access to something that could very well be hidden away in one of the top floors of the workshop. Usually I get by in the sanctuary with stealth and an occasional smoke bomb or two, but the workshop's denizens aren't that easily fooled. Knowing my colleagues, they could also very well be a champion monster on the way. You keepers like taking care of those, right? If you can pave a path for me through the workshop, I'll share all I know with you. Well, this one seems quite reasonable. His knowledge would be very valuable to us. We should still keep an eye on him, but let's trust him for now. Alright, interesting. Okay, let's put the volume back on and talk to Andy again.
What this area is supposed to be, I just made like a weird looking doorway. It's corridor.
Hello, I'm back.
Hello, back. I'm Dad.
I'm not calling you Dad.
Isn't it sad that like there's like a few words that have just been ruined?
Okay. Okay. You
Daddy
know what?
And mommy. We can't use those words anymore.
You know what? All right. You know what? I'm gonna say it.
We have to dig up Webster. We have to tell him to get him out of the dictionary.
You know, okay, here's the thing. I don't know if this is like a white human kind of thing, but like those honestly, I know that those terms have become sexualized in recent times, but even outside of that context, like I feel like people are like a white humans typically seem very sensitive about that choice of words, and I honestly don't get why, because like if you're like Hispanic or Latino like I am, you like use words like mama or papa or mommy or daddy or whatever like when you're a grown-ass adult. It's just normal. And like a lot of other cultures do that too. But literally everyone I've ever talked to, like mind you, more than half of my friends are humans that are also white. So maybe that has something to do with it. But a lot of them are just like, dude, that's weird, bro. Why do you do that? That's weird. And it's not weird. It's not weird. It's normal for Latinos to do that.
Ethics of calling someone daddy by Titus.
Listen, it's only weird if you're saying it in a weird context. Like if you're saying that to your actual father, there's nothing weird about it. If you're saying that to like your lover, then yeah, obviously that has a certain connotation. But just by using the word does not mean anything.
Wow, thanks for the that was a very educative lecture, Titus.
Listen.
So Grizz, I have played Halo Wars. Not Gears Tactics though. I played a little bit of Supreme Commander back in high school. Really touched those games since.
Chat, Andy is judging me.
I'm very judgy. I'm a judgy person.
Now, Hey Andy, I'm curious. Now, obviously, not naming names, but have you
God.
met anyone in you know, the VTuber space that's like kind of been like standoffish towards you? Because up until recently, I hadn't really met anyone directly who seemed kind of like, you know, rude or mean.
I don't think so. Even, and I'm not gonna get into it, but even when there's some issues among people who used to be friends, I'll say that way. No one has really gone against me. Like,
Right.
I've noticed both, in certain arguments, both sides will still, like, they won't be standoffish to me, if that makes sense.
Right, right.
So, like, yeah, I've never really experienced that. What did you, what made you want to bring that up?
Well, I was just thinking, because, like, I haven't had, like, you always hear people, like, talk about, like, drama in the VTuber space, but honestly, I personally have had none.
And I like to just stay out of drama.
I mean, yeah, in general, I also do.
Everybody tries to, but
I don't know about that. There's some people who, like, thrive on it. There's some people who, like...
that is true. There are people who love to eat up all the drama.
Yeah, they feed on it.
Reality TV isn't doing it for them, so they're like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
do it. To
They feed
actual
on it
people.
también. It makes them stronger.
I don't know what that is, Chris. What game that is?
Raid Shadow Legend is a critically acclaimed RPG.
Oh God. And the sad thing is, like, you know why they do it. It's like the amount of money that they get from doing those sponsorships. To the point where it makes me wonder, would I actually turn that down?
Would you if you were offered, would you do it?
Depends on what video. But if I was making a video, I would intentionally. Okay, so here's my. I'm gonna explain kind of my YouTube channel to people who don't know. It's basically, if you've ever seen Ross Scott and A Curse Farms, I'm basically ripping him off. Where I make long sort of video essays about like older, more obscure games, or just games in general. I wouldn't do it for those videos. I wouldn't do it for like these long, like 30 minute, hour long videos that I put a lot of work into. I made like a quick 7-minute video about something, like here's a game that I discovered, and I'd probably do a stupid sponsorship ad in front of that instead.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of my attitude towards it. But because I just imagine like 5 years, like I use Ross Scott because he's been a YouTuber for a long time. He made Freeman's Mind. I don't know if you know what that is. Very old Half-Life 1 machinima.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first. So he's like one of the first sort of content makers on YouTube.
Right.
Like a lot of his videos are very old. I couldn't imagine doing something like that and like 5 years later looking back at this video I put a lot of work into, and at the start is like just this dumb sponsorship for a game that probably doesn't even exist by then. So
right.
I guess that's my answer. I'd probably go out of my way to make a crappy video just for it. I wouldn't do it for my main content.
I feel like... Okay, here's my hot take. First of all, I do not begrudge any content creator for taking advertisements unless it's blatantly harmful and they know it. Then I would blame them. Like, if I saw, like, somebody, like, promoting, like, friggin' Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop, I'd find that messed up. Like, that's just inherently morally wrong.
Or if it's a scam, especially if they're in on the scam.
Yeah, that's wrong. But, like, if it's just, like, Raid Shadow Legends before your video, it's like, okay. Like, what? I get it, you know? You got bills to pay, you know? You got money, you need money, like, you gotta feed your kids, you know? I get it.
That CSGO Lotto scandal?
Yeah, no, that kind of stuff is unacceptable. That stuff's unacceptable.
It's weird because they're still part of the community. Like, I'm not naming names, but the guy who did the scam is still, like, doing videos with the people in the video. in the video game kind of the video game sphere. Like it's so weird. Nobody calls them out on it. But like that is just genuinely like scummy because it's your business and you're pretending that it's not.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's a violation of
Like that's just straight up illegal.
yeah. Saying advertising this, pretending to not be someone who's invested in the company. Another thing happened a while back, and I'm shocked nobody remembers it. And like, I think it was around Dead by Daylight when that game came out. There were a lot of like asymmetrical sort of horror multiplayer games. And there was one, I forget the name of it. It was like a crappy like Dead by Daylight ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Grizz, yes, I did see that lady from G4. I don't want to get into I'm not gonna get into that. Anyway, it was this crappy like rip-off game that a lot of these YouTubers were playing for whatever reason, and it turned out that a bunch of them had like a stake in the developer, like in the company that made it. So like they had made the game and were promoting it, like trying to give this like this artificial sort of giving it an artificial like growth. It's so bizarre. And everybody just kind of forgot about that. I know those exact YouTubers who were on it too.
People tend to give up on their morals very quickly for money. Sometimes.
Here's a hint. This may give away. Who I'm talking about. Zentreya did a collab with him like a couple months ago. I'm pretty sure. So
Zentreya's the
text-to-speech dragon VTuber.
Right, I thought I caught myself before I said something else.
God. Not to be confused with Zendaya.
Yeah, Zendaya.
Who everybody knows from Spider-Man fame. Or from Disney.
Am I okay?
This is one movie I noticed her from.
I'm gonna break the say so front for just a moment to say. For a second, I was literally about to answer before I caught myself. I was like, "You mean the hot dragon chick?" That was. I was about to say. I just had to stop myself real quick. There you go. There's your non-Siso Titus moment for the stream.
Just so that narrows it down of like who this person is like still active today, and I don't even have anything against them. It's just like it's so weird that they would do that. Like, why wouldn't you even disclose it? Like, if I made a game, I would literally be advertising it everywhere. Of like, here's a game I made. I'm showing it off.
Right.
Like, because I mean that's the whole point. Like when you pretend that you don't have any investment in it, it's a little weird. Anyway, I won't get into it. Yeah, G4, am I right? Guys, do you even know what G4 is?
Didn't they just reboot?
He did. That's what we're talking about in my chat.
I know one of my favorite YouTubers is he got hired on as a host for that. Gerard the Completionist. I've been watching him for years, since high school.
Yeah. Scott the Waz is on there apparently.
I remember that. I saw that. That's so based, honestly. Good for Scott. Good for Scott.
It's G4 is. Do you even remember original G4?
I was kind of young for OG G4.
So I've noticed something, and I'm curious to see if anybody else noticed this as well. We've reached a point where the crappy things that we remembered from like the early internet days, we now have nostalgia over. G4 was hated back in the day. Nobody liked G4. It was a laughing stock all the way back when Adam Sessler knew nothing about video games, and he was clearly on there just to get a paycheck, pretending he cared. A YouTuber I follow, Mr. Sark, he used to be on G4. He started out, I think he was like a producer or intern or something.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like a full-blown huge streamer. I think he is my favorite streamer out there, because he also does really good edited videos. Anyway.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna meet Mori Calliope and tell her. I'm gonna tell her, yeah, my friend Eddie, he said you're not his favorite streamer. She'll be like, well, I guess I never want to meet him.
Wow. I lost my train of thought because of you. Titus.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to make it funny.
Oh, yes. With Sark, he talks about his experience being on G4. He's done like one interview about it. It's interesting because nobody on the show really cared about the quality of the show. And so like he kind of took the reins as like he would do like these game nights with the community, and that's kind of where he got his start. It's like obviously a guy like Adam Sessler, like he doesn't give a shit about video games. Like he's not going to be doing that stuff. So that's kind of where Sark got his early start. It's interesting the way he talked about the people on that show, because it was like these corporate suits who had no idea what video games were, but they were trying to capitalize on it because they were popular. And that's what G4 was this despised network that pretended to care about video games and to be for gamers, but it was just this boring network show.
Attack of the Show.
And now people have nostalgia for it, even though it was garbage, and so they thought they could bring it back. It's so bizarre to me that they would even try that. Like, G4 failed because we have the internet. It's 2022 and we still have the internet. Like, G4 is never coming back.
Yeah, there's no real purpose for G4 when like we have stuff like YouTubers and streamers. Because I mean, it's the same problem as game reviewers, right? Like even the most earnest of even the most earnest of them, I trust them inherently less just because of their position compared to like any gaming YouTuber or streamer. Like,
my favorite G4, I'm reading my chat when they did the top 100 games. My favorite G4 moment is when they would do tips and tricks for games, but then just get information wrong because none of them cared. It's my favorite G4 moment. Like nobody cares. Like those reviewers, that's a great example of like, yeah, I could read like an IGN review that everybody hates and dislikes, or I could just watch like an Angry Joe video about it. Like that's me. It's like you've lost the consumer base. So like, why are you still going? I think the same about G4. Like, why does it still exist? Why do people want this? I guarantee that it's not going to stick around for much longer. I think they're going to realize that there is no success for a video game show on network television.
I don't know, because like they have a lot of people in the same vein of we don't need it because we have a lot of gaming YouTubers and streamers who know their stuff. They've hired on a lot of people who are gaming YouTubers and streamers who know their stuff, so maybe they can make a niche for themselves.
I'm not gonna tune in to watch Scott the Woz. I'm just gonna watch his YouTube videos.
I'm just saying, people like normies, people who don't like go on the internet. I can't believe I just said that unironically, but you know what I mean.
But do you think Joe Schmo, who like sits around watching football and only watches TV and doesn't know what YouTube is, do you think he is going to like watch? I keep saying Scott the Woz because like that's my favorite example of like who else likes that guy outside of the internet? Like where would that content work? That's the point I'm getting at. If content doesn't work. It works perfectly online. People love it online, but when you try to bring it onto television, nobody's gonna care. Especially when you're shitting on your audience, calling them. Won't get into it, but a little key moment because everybody hates Adam Sessler, and one of his co-hosts was fired up, yelling at the audience. I guarantee G4 is going to be off the air in by the end of 2022. Like it's not going to last.
I don't really have a strong opinion. I just know there's some people I like who are on it, and they're happy about it, so good for them. I don't watch it. I don't watch TV, so.
A guy in my chat, Grizz, summed it up perfectly. People watched old G4 because it had cringy moments and the co-hosts were hot. That's the only reason people watched it.
Yeah, didn't they have that one? I remember there was like this very attractive blonde woman that she ran like a.
Yeah. I forget all the names. I only know Adam Sessler because he's such a dick.
Tell us how you really feel it. I'm just joking. I'm not.
I feel like this dragon. I've slain this dragon like centuries ago, and now it's been resurrected before my eyes. for no good reason. That's what I feel like right now. It's like we had this. We had this battle. This is over. Why are you still around?
You're Link, man. You gotta slay the dragon every couple centuries, bro. It never ends.
No. Anyway, that's my hot take on G4. It doesn't need to exist. Stop it. Anyway, I'm glad to rant to the fine people in Titus's stream. This is chat. Yeah, and Grizz also brings up a good point. Like, the hilarious part about G4 was like, yeah, they'd have like these. Everybody talked about how hot the co-hosts were, but nobody knew anything about video games. Like, it was just them being given a script and reading it. Like, why would you want to watch that? And it still is that. It still is that to this day. Just die already, G4. Come on.
You heard the man's. Cease
Any hot
exists.
Any hot takes to get out of your system, Titus? Because it seems to be the theme of tonight's stream.
My hot take is that it's pronounced tortilla in absolutely no country on earth. It's pronounced tortilla, not tortilla.
Tortilla. That's what it's. Why is
No,
it
it's
spelled
not.
that way?
It's not tortilla. It's tortilla.
It has two L's, and you spell it tortilla.
Yes, in Spanish, two
Armadillo.
L's makes a Y sound. And tortilla is a Spanish word. Therefore, it is pronounced tortilla, not tortilla. That is my hot take of the day.
We joked like a few minutes ago about stuff, innocuous stuff that could get you canceled. I was about to do that. I think I'll refrain from doing it.
Bro, you can't make jokes on the internet, bro. Are you crazy? You want to get canceled?
I was gonna say the way you pronounce it is Tortilla X.
Dude, I'm not even gonna touch that, dude. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Anyway, I'm not going near that one. So Pokemon, am I right?
Yeah, Pokemon. Anyway, I think Pokemon looks like shit. It is
I think
bizarre how bad that game
Coolsville
is.
sucks. That's what you said.
I think Gen 1 sucks. You really think they're not going to do? You really think they're going to try to do Gen 9 by the end of the year? I don't think they will.
Genuinely, yes. Because they have no more quality control anymore. They don't care. They know they can get away with it, so yes, they will.
I think they know that they can get away with not having Gen 9. I think I think that they want to do the work, even if it's garbage. I think that they don't want to do work, which is why I think they're going to try to do another. They might try to do another remake, I'm guessing. Although I don't know what they're running out of games to remake. Like, they're slowly catching up. I don't know. I think it's gonna be Gen 9 ever happens. I think it's not gonna happen until next year. I think they're waiting for that. I could be wrong.
I just want more side games that aren't gotcha, or like
Made
that
by
aren't
Game Freak.
gotcha, or that aren't just generic mobile.
What about that MOBA game?
No. MOBA bad.
That's a weird thing to do. Would be a good Pokemon spin-off. I'm trying to think of like what would work with
Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Conquest, Pokemon Battle Stadium.
I
The
do like
GameCube RPGs, bro.
Never played any of these. I literally have a GameCube, and I've never touched any
They're good.
RPGs.
They're really good.
Keep having the Pokemon times Yakuza, where it says.
Phase. I'd play that. Are you kidding me?
Play like a Call of Duty Pokemon.
That's just Pal World.
That is, yeah.
Ah!
I'm just BSing and trying to think of funny genres that Pokemon could be in.
It's already crossed over with, oh, you know what game they could make? Pokemon Puzzle League. Make that.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you're such a zoomer, Andy. You're such a zoomer. Okay, so back in the day.
They're old Pokemon games. Go back to Gen 1, Grandpa.
Back in the good old days when, you know, Pokemon still had hopes and dreams. There was a Pokemon.
The good old days of 2004.
Yes. Unironically, yes.
2004, that was a good year for video games.
So, back in the day, in Gen 1, there was one for Game Boy Color in Gen 2, and one for the N64 in Gen 1. They literally just took Tetris Attack, but made it Pokemon.
Oh.
And they put it all...
I thought you were going to give me, like, this grand idea for a new Pokemon game.
No, look, it's simple, but it works. You had all the voice actors come back from the anime to, like, voice the characters, and it was just Tetris Attack, but it had, like, really good remixes of anime music and game music in the background playing. It was really good.
People really need a Pokemon fix that badly. So, when did Pokemania die? I always hear it died at
Gen 3.
Gen 3.
Officially, Gen 3, probably.
The advanced Game Boy Advance games. Why is that? Was it just the hype? Was it actually because people didn't like Gen 3, or was it just...
I think people just grew out of the age range. This puzzle is so hard!
Over to Titus's stream. What are you doing?
Okay.
You're like pulling levers and switches.
So I have to, I want to get that treasure chest. But to do it, I need to lift this one up. To lift that one up, I have to pull this, I have to wait. Okay, here, let me just show you. It'll be easier this way. Okay, so re-exit.
It might actually be Discord that's slowing down. It's causing my model to be choppy.
I told ya!
It might be that.
Alright, so I gotta click
Why, though?
I gotta click this first one. See, and then it opens up the area, but I have to hurry. I have to open up the levers and jump around and move really fast to get there on time. And I keep
That sounds
missing
like the worst puzzle ever made.
Ah!
Oh, you did it.
No,
Oh no, that spoke too soon. Your stream's delayed by like a few seconds.
Oh, this is pain pecco. This is a certified pain pecco moment, as the kids say.
Better gamer ranks me.
Okay, listen, I'm fine. I don't. I'm a good gamer. All right, I'm great
it's
at
so
gaming.
Weird. Yeah, now I'm going back to my model. Just whenever I tab into the game, it looks choppy to me. Grizz, I don't know how choppy it is for you. Like when I'm moving around as I'm playing the game, just kind of notice how the frame rate for my model drops. When I alt tab out of the game, it seems fine. It's like I do not know what is happening. It didn't happen on the recordings either. He just had them in the background. I guess sometimes it gets all smooth. Like now it's smooth. It might just be my connection.
Oh, I got it!
This is victorious.
Ah! Based. Okay.
One-liner joke.
Defeated is the monster.
Yeah, G4, everybody, go watch their TV show.
Or don't. I'm not your dad.
Does anybody like below the age of 30 still care about network television? Or, like just TV in general? Like, do people still watch TV shows? Like, I don't. Everybody has Netflix.
I have a question for you, Andy.
Go ahead.
I have a question for you. Do you remember the days?
My grandma.
Do you remember the days when the only
where's this
thing?
going?
Do you remember like? Shit, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh God, dang it!
I am. Fucking
Do you remember the 21st night of September? That's that little.
I don't know what joke you're trying to make.
It's fine. No one ever does.
Oh, no. Sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Boomer. You and Burke, you two boomers.
Burke's the oldest one out of all of us.
He is, but you're still older.
I'm
the
not even that.
youngest.
I'm 26.
I'm the zoomer. I'm 22, dude. I'm the zoomiest zoomer that ever zoomed. Is that the joke? Was that all you wanted to say? Was that a joke? I'm guessing that you made that I didn't get.
No, I actually was gonna ask something, but I can't remember what I was gonna say. Like, it literally was on the tip of my tongue, and then I was about to say it, and then it disappeared.
Wow, very riveting conversation. If we were talking about Pokemon, you'd be on point.
It's true. It's true. I would. Did your okay? Now I do. I have a question. It's not the same one, but I do have a question. Do your parents or grandparents watch, like, what do they call them in English? Soap operas?
No. I joke about boomers and the only ones who still watch TV. My parents have fully switched over to like online streaming. Like they got rid of their cable like a couple years ago.
Did you convince them to do so?
They're asking about it. I'm like, just stop paying cable. Do something else. Because it's much cheaper. Just get a Roku box, and that's your streaming. That's your TV now. Probably what I'm gonna do, honestly. But yeah, I think so. Soap operas still exist. I don't know who watches them.
Grandparents.
Well, grandparents. I mean, the stereotype here is that grandparents will just watch the same old shows and movies. Like my grandpa was watching like Dirty Harry, like from the 70s. Like that's what he would watch. Like okay, they don't watch soap operas. Grandma was watching like Sound of Music. So, I don't know who soap operas are made for anymore because we don't have stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home wives.
I mean, they still exist. It's still a thing. It's just like not
Everybody's
like
not
mandatory. It's
Amazon.
not the expected anymore.
Everybody's working in the Amazon wage cages.
No, stop! Don't! You're depressing me. Don't stop. Not me, because I don't have a job. Except for this. Technically, I could call this a job because I got paid 10 bits today. Technically, it's a job.
Nice.
Technically, it counts.
Not even affiliate.
You'll get there one day, kid. Don't worry. My grandmothers, I should say. Well, only one of my grandmas is still around.
Hey, Yaka, what's up?
But when the other one was around, she also did. They watch telenovelas, like specifically telenovelas. They're Spanish soap operas. They are the most
I know.
ridiculous things. Have you ever
watch a lot of telenovelas, Titus?
I do not, but I've seen like commercials for them, and they're absolutely freaking hilarious. Like some two dudes with like thick Mexican like mustaches will be arguing with each other, and then like a lady in a maid's outfit will shriek, and then she'll fall down a set of stone stairs, and like it'll just immediately cut to like
that sounds awesome.
It'll immediately cut to like some Spanish music playing over like a screen cut edit like of the title card that looks like it was made in like clip art paint in like 1998. It's absolutely wonderful. I love it so much.
That sounds amazing.
It's so funny. Like obviously I don't watch them, and Unfortunately, my parents and grandparents didn't teach me how to speak Spanish. So I don't know what they're saying, but God, if it isn't funny just to watch, just to see their reactions and stuff, it's hilarious.
I saw you were, so you want to stop in. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Yako.
Dude, I can't believe you have the Yakko, the Animaniac, in your chat. I love your work.
Oh my god, that's gonna it's gonna get her riled up. Disrespected the vampire mommy.
I thought you literally were just saying earlier that you can't use that word.
We were talking about that.
You were the one who was literally like, you can't say that
I
word.
was.
And then here you are
Yes.
saying it.
Our
In
word.
the exact connotation you said it can't be used in. Explain yourself.
Titus.
Andy, is there something about yourself you gotta
Bring down.
tell the
I
cat?
can bring down your entire stream with one word, Titus.
I mean, I don't mind. As long as we don't
Now
talk
you're-
about
now you're,
anything.
now you're tempted to hear what word that is. You probably know what it is too.
As long as it's not a word that can't be said with Twitch rules, I
Oh,
don't.
it's a word that can be said. It'll destroy your stream.
Oh yeah, what are you gonna say?
It's you know what? I'll post it in your chat. How about that? You can decide if you want to say that word or not. So, my favorite of the.
Shut
EVM
up! I hate you! Oh, come on, dude! Andy, you're dead to me.
I love
man.
how that copy pasta was made, because now that's like ruined, ruined an entire like generation.
You're dead
We've
to
like
me, man.
absolutely destroyed a generation of Pokemon players. Hey Yaka, welcome to the stream. I'm playing some Halo. Titus is playing. He's raging at Monster Sanctuary.
I'm not raging at Monster Sanctuary. I'm raging at you saying Vaporeon.
You got it, Titus. That puzzle earlier, you got angry.
Oh no, I
actually
did get angry at
wow,
that.
you
That's true.
That's like the loudest I've heard Titus yell.
It's okay. The one emote that's unlocked is the one of me screaming, so it's fine. It's fine.
Now the frame rate seems to be doing a little better. Moving my model around.
See, all I had to do was yell, and then Discord was like, "Okay, we'll get along. It's fine."
The CEO of Discord,
Yeah,
John Discord.
Jonathan Discord himself.
I know. Rest in peace, John Madden. Games were terrible.
I don't play sports games. I don't play sports. Why would I
Oh,
play
they're so
sports
bad.
games?
Those games are so bad. And people still buy them. I don't get the mindset of someone who buys FIFA. What are you doing?
They're best, I guess.
Do something else. But to me, it's funny because like one of the NBA 2K games has. Did you hear about this? It has like actual commercials that you can't skip.
Oh yeah, and then Jared from Jake from State Farm is in it or something?
I don't know about that. I just thought the commercial, like this $60 game, has ads that you can't skip.
Oh dude, I
And
love
at
Gotcha.
at first, I wanted to like complain about it. Then I'm like, the people who buy those games, like cretins that they are, like that's kind of what they deserve, right?
Bro,
Like-
tell us how you really feel today, Andy, man. You're just
Like-
going in on people today.
I'd be mad if that was Halo, but like that's the people who play and buy those games and encourage it. Like, I deserve that. You got that. You earned that yourself.
Sports
what I
game
mean?
fans, you're welcome in my chat, even if I don't understand the love for
Not welcome
sports
in
games.
You're not welcome in my chat.
Dude, I have someone named Bing Cortana watching me right now. I'm almost certain it's a bot.
Oh, see you, Grizz. Good night. Wait, what do you mean by that, Yako? You could keep that area open for another ground on the side. So, oh, she's talking about the map I'm making. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing here, Yako. I'm making like a space station.
What are you playing?
In Halo right now.
Ah.
It's the maps.
Oh, the game with the Doom guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, John Halo.
John Halo, you're right. Oh wait, his name actually is John, isn't it?
It is John 117. How sad is it that I know that? I fucking hate. There's always. Isn't the joke literally that his? Isn't the joke literally that his name and numbers are a Bible verse? Probably not. That's probably intentional.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, isn't that the whole joke?
Literally, there's like levels named after like parts in the Bible, like the covenant ships. Like, there's a covenant ship called Truth and Reconciliation, and like the Ark and the Flood. Like, it's all biblical stuff. Anyways, I hate they're like infection maps where you have to fight against waves of zombies, and people will always make a map with just a linear corridor and just create a choke point. They're the worst fucking maps to play. So that's what Yako's telling me is I need to like add in a second area. I don't know. I was just using them as like tunnel pieces, so I can't really add a hole. I could probably do something like this.
Andy, how would you feel if the next Halo game comes out? It's a return to form on terms of gameplay, but the biggest change they made is that after he kills every enemy, Master Chief pulls up a chair backwards and sits in it, stares at the screen, and gives a small Bible lecture. How would you feel about that? How'd you feel about that?
That's basically what the end of Halo Infinite was. I'm not even talking about Halo Infinite. I'm not going to talk about that game. Otherwise, I'll get mad and sad at the same time.
That's like, it reminds me of like after Smash Ultimate came out, there was just like a huge boost in jokes on the internet about just Richter and Simon being like just like literally being like Crusaders basically. I mean they are, but they literally just made like joke comics and fan art of them basically being like Sunday school teachers. It was the funniest shit. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
Oh. There was like, I don't know. No, it's you had to have seen it.
You and your boomer talk.
That's not even a boomer thing. ¿Está loca? And we win. Finally, that battle went on forever.
Yako, I don't think I'm even making this map for balance. I'm just making this map to like pass the time. I kind of wanted to do a fat kid map. Titus doesn't even know what that is.
I was a fat kid.
It's you have like one person is like this zombie, but they're really really slow. But like they have a really like I think it's 5 times shield health. So like they're borderline impossible to kill. You can kill them. You actually have to go behind them and do a stealth kill. And they move really really slow. So it's like this linear level that players have to traverse, backing away from the fat kid. And the fat kid can kill you and turn you into like a smaller like zombie minion. That's the best game mode in Halo. Guess what? It doesn't exist in Halo Infinite because there's no Forge mode in Halo Infinite.
Rest in pepperoni.
4.3 they don't know how to add content when a game comes out. Instead, they have to wait months after release till everybody's left before they add it. What happened to Halo 5? That's what's going to happen to Infinite. Anyway, I could rant about Halo all day.
How do you feel about? Have you played? I think we've talked about this, but I have a terrible memory. Do you like Sonic the Hedgehog? Have you played any of the Sonic games?
I have not played. Pretty much no. I haven't played the Sonic games. I think I have more respect for the franchise because I know people who are Sonic the Hedgehog fans. I'd say like if had you asked me like 3 years ago, I would have laughed at Sonic, but now I respect the franchise more. I respect the games more.
I respect that they don't take down people's fan games, if nothing else.
So they have good music.
It's true. That's literally what I was just gonna say. I was just gonna make a joke about the fact that every time you talk about every time you say Halo Infinite, the immediate thing that pops in my head is one of the villains, the OC Donut Steel villain from the Sonic Forces game, was called Infinite, and he just had this theme song where they had this metal rock song this like power metal song that was just like talking about him being so edgy and shit. Like it was
Awesome. I love that. I love how goofy those games are.
honestly
They're not afraid of it. They're not afraid. That's the best part.
that honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that song is actually good though. Like it actually goes kind of hard.
All the I think it's Adventures 2, Sonic Adventures 2. There's a fight with Shadow and Sonic. That's like that music slaps. Like that's the best.
Like if you hear the Sonic Heroes, theme and you don't immediately like start belting from your chest, you know, like
Sonic Heroes theme is the worst track in Sonic Heroes.
No. Well, okay, I haven't played Sonic Heroes theme, but that theme song, I actually really like that.
You're talking about the one that goes Sonic Heroes. You're talking about that
the
one, right?
Sonic Heroes. And you got the guy in the back going Sonic Heroes. Yeah, that one.
That's the worst. There's so many better tracks. Why would you bring up that one?
I don't know. It's just catchy.
There's so much better.
I just love that shit where the guy is like belting it, then you got the guy in the background singing the same notes but slightly different in like the in the round. I just love that shit. It's so I don't know why. It lives in my head rent free, bro. It lives in my head rent free.
Rent free.
Seethe, cope, etc.
Remember the original Sonic the Hedgehog CGI model?
Yes, I do.
The question for you: do you believe the conspiracy theories that it was intentionally bad so they could edit it?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I think they genuinely thought they could pass that off as a blue hedgehog.
Yeah, I know. I think Hollywood is just that inept when it comes to video game movies and movies in general.
Specifically because it was Sony. Like, if it was any other studio, I would have been like, you should have known better. That was Sony. And it's like, oh, you guys don't know better.
The only company I could buy doing that purposely is, like, Disney. But that's because, like, they're very, very smart about their marketing. Like, their marketing is, like, next level. Like, big brain.
Well, it's scary. That's the difference with Disney marketing.
Yeah. Dude, just the way they market the MCU movies alone is kind of terrifying.
Ever since Endgame though, it's never been. Because Spider-Man, well, that was a pretty big hit. But do you remember the Eternals? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember it. I thought it was fine. Honestly, I don't think I'd even put it in like. I don't think I'd even say it's in like the bottom 5 Marvel like MCU movies in my opinion.
I think I might go that far.
I would say
it was so boring, and like you could have done a better movie. Not only could you have done a better movie, you could have just done like better characters. Like, why do we need an Eternals movie?
It's because they want to expand, you know, their space roster.
I know why financially. Titus. Like, why do we need that as a movie? We don't.
To be fair, do we need any movies?
Really don't. I'm more critical of modern superhero movies than I think you are.
Dude, I just look, as long as I show up and I don't like, I'm entertained enough.
10 Rings. Oh god, Chris is asking me about. Do you remember that, Titus?
What?
10 Rings. Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I actually really like Shang-Chi.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, genuinely, I think Shang-Chi is like, I wouldn't put it in like, probably not the top 10, but like, it's like one of the better movies that they've made in a while. I thought it was pretty good. Like, I have issues with some parts of it, but I thought it was overall pretty entertaining. I liked it more than Eternals. Also, the fight cinematography was genuinely good. Like, they actually got real fight cinema. They didn't just do that thing they do where it's like you pretend to punch like shaky cam.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that bully. Because I have seen like clips of the fight scenes. I think someone joked that it's that meme, like guy who's only seen Boss Baby No, like not sorry, not the boss baby, like baby's first like raid. Baby's first fight scene. Like it's good, but it's like it's not amazing. Like I've seen the raid. I've seen much better films. I don't know. It's to me it's just like Marvel's getting so generic, and like this point, here's my hot take. Like if they just stopped making Marvel movies, I would be totally fine with that. Like I don't need to see any more of these stupid characters for the rest of my life. I just want movies to go back to the way they were, where everything just isn't a cinematic universe.
Good luck.
We're never gonna get that, yeah. We're gonna make the Star Wars a cinematic universe that's still failing. Good old Disney, now that they own everything. Now that Microsoft owns everything too. Do you think Disney is ever gonna acquire Microsoft, or vice versa?
No, I think that'd be too much of a monopoly. I don't think they'd get away with it. They have a power, but I don't think that even then there's some
yeah, like
limitations.
as if they haven't gotten away with enough already.
There's some things even they can't get away with. I don't...
Riz, I hate your opinion. I just don't like Marvel anymore. It's like, I like some of the movies, but it's just like, I don't like, I'm sick of that. I'm sick of that, like, mass-produced movie, like, entertainment. Like, I like good movies, and those aren't what those are.
I mean, yeah, I like good movies too, but I don't go into MCU for the most part expecting, like, it's not like when I'm like, it's not like when I'm
It's the fast food of movies.
It's like I'm going to the MCU because it's like I'm going because I want to see some superheroes make quips in colorful outfits and beat the shit out of each other, and I'll be entertained for an hour and a half. That's what I'm going for. Like, it's not like I'm like when I go and see like the Train to Busan or like when I something like I'm like like or the Lighthouse where I'm like I'm coming for like like a very unique cinematic experience. It's not. They're two totally different things.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean I don't think there's a place for movies like the MCU.
Just not in it anymore for the movies like the MCU. It's funny because now DC is trying to do their thing after years of failure. I haven't seen Peacemaker. Grizz is mentioning that.
I've heard that show's pretty good.
I've heard it's pretty good. I just don't like John Cena.
What you got against my boy? I actually don't particularly care about him, but I'm just curious.
First off, he's a bad actor. I just don't like he's a wrestler. He's not an actor. Secondly, I think there's just too much weirdness with him in China. It's like, why am I watching this guy? Like, I can get my bad wrestling actors from The Rock. Why do I need John Cena?
Because The Rock isn't in a superhero movie yet.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming in.
Black Adam, isn't he? Over in DC. I don't know. I don't pay much attention to the DC live action movies.
Like Shazam, that was fun.
Shazam was good.
That felt like an actual superhero movie. And the ending didn't give me a headache. It wasn't this CGI monstrosity. It was just this fun little like fight scene. I loved it. And I think I enjoyed Spider-Man, but I'm wondering if that's only because I like Tobey Maguire. That was like a fun nostalgia thing, like nostalgia bait. I'm not exactly sure if I like that on a filmmaking level.
I mean, it's Spider-Man. Everyone likes Spider-Man.
Everybody does like Spider-Man. He's your favorite superhero.
It's true.
I want to see them make a Booster Gold movie. I'd actually show up to see that.
But then it's gonna have the same trappings as every other superhero movie. What are you gonna do then?
Nah, he's a guy who's from the future and he's bullshitting his way in the modern day. The only reason he's a superhero is because he knows what's gonna happen in the future. That's the only reason, and it's amazing. You just need to make a movie about that guy. That's all I want.
I don't know if he's popular enough that they would make a movie about him, but then again, neither were the Eternals.
I mean, DC has done like Shazam wasn't that popular. Suicide Squad. I mean, you had Harley Quinn and Joker, but like they weren't part of the
I'm the Joker, baby.
Harley Quinn. I'm the Joker, baby. Harley Quinn was like probably the most popular character out of all of them.
I hate what modern Harley Quinn has become.
Yeah. It's bizarre seeing just. We have 3 separate films with Harley Quinn, and she's a different character in all 3 of them.
Yep.
Do you remember the original Suicide Squad movie?
I did. I actually got to see an advanced screening of it with my family.
Oh my! Why did you do that?
I was excited for it. We didn't know what it was. You know, I didn't know what
I was
it was
excited for it until the reviews started coming out. I'm like, oh, they did a DC again. That was one of the many signs that the DCEU was not meant to be.
I think it's inherently flawed because DC fails to realize, in the way Marvel does, that like you don't have to take yourself so seriously. Like let yourself like live and like deal with the fact that you're inherently kind of silly. Just accept it. You know what I mean? Like they try to be so dark and edgy, but that's just it's not gonna like for the most part that doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. I got Grizz angry because I said I'm not gonna give Peacemaker a chance. I didn't say that. I might check it out. It's good. I mean, because I have HBO. I have HBO Max. If it's on there, I can just watch it. All they need for the DCU or the DC. No wait, what is it? The DCCU, right?
The DC DC cinematic universe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
You just need to start off with a Batman, and then you transition to Superman.
Well, they're making another Batman movie with Robert Pattinson.
They are, but I don't even think it's part. It's just its own thing though.
Yeah, it's just its own thing, I think.
And then
I'm okay with that though.
Then you slowly start introducing characters.
Crap! I targeted the wrong monster.
Superman is good. I mean, here's what I'm saying. Just copy what the animated shows did. Batman had his own continuity. It's kind of there wasn't a lot of crossover with Batman. The early seasons. And then once they brought in Superman, he started having like crossover galore. Like he was out meeting like the Flash and Aquaman. Slowly teasing the Justice League. I think he even met the Green Lantern, a different Green Lantern.
I want a Static Shock movie.
Yeah, I want a Booster Gold movie.
DC can't make any. DC doesn't tend to make very good movies, unfortunately, though, for the most part. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, I like Shazam, but it's not an amazing movie. It's a fun movie. It's a fun little superhero movie. I think that's what I liked about it. It's just how quaint it was. I'm looking at my stream, and my model does seem to not be choppy anymore. So I have no idea what was going on earlier.
Bad internet, I guess.
Might have been, maybe just the internet. Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Just movies in general now. They tire me. No, you don't.
I like how you're younger than me, but yet you sound like such a jaded old man about movies.
Because I never got to like have my. My generation will never have like our own things to look back on fondly. Because when our like growing up years were full of like people in their 30s and 40s having their nostalgia moments. Fucking Star Wars and like Iron Man, all this nostalgia for the 70s and 80s. It's like and 90s. It's like when did we get our nostalgia? Like we didn't even have it.
You gotta wait until, just like everyone else, you have to wait until your generation gets into some place of power and has the money to do it themselves.
We have to wait until we're in our 40s and 50s, and then we're going to traumatize the current generation with our nostalgia. That's what happens.
Exactly.
You don't keep up with Star Wars, do you? You don't know much about Star Wars.
Not beyond like mainstream news of it. Not really.
Yeah, it's just like Star Wars. Star Wars is a great example of like, I liked Star Wars at one point, and now I don't even know if I care. It's so tiring. Hope Chris didn't leave angry. I think he might have actually taken offense to my tirade against John Cena. Sorry,
Oh.
Grizz, if you're still here, I'm sorry, man.
We need 2 more keys to open that. I'll have to go look for them.
Anyway, yeah, just the Star Wars now. Like they've had like 2 shows. They've ruined what could have been a cool show, Mandalorian.
I
Could have been
actually,
could
honestly,
have been a fun.
I've
Forgot.
never up until I met you, I've never met anyone who disliked The Mandalorian. I'll be honest with you, Chief.
I mean, there's a subset of us. It's I think it's just casual watchers like it, like actual like diehard fans.
I mean, yeah,
I don't
that's
know,
fair.
There's a lot of like Star Wars at this point. It's made for the casual audiences. It's made for people who just want to see lightsabers and X-wings and TIE fighters. Mandalorian could have been a fun show. All it needed to be was a space bounty hunter show. That's it. And then what they turned it into was like a pseudo sequel to the original trilogy, because their actual sequel to the original trilogy turned out to be hot garbage. And they're
Except
like,
they're all
let's try to redo it in this alternate show, and it's just as bad. There's a CGI Mark Hamill, and it looks like a deep fake. And why did anybody at Disney approve of this? Oh God, it is so bad. Season 2 especially. Season 1 got really hammy near the end, but it was still fun. Season 2, that was when I'm like, oh, these are the same people who made the sequel trilogy. Like, never mind, this is Disney. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Star Wars. It's the Clone Wars, and that's all I miss. Clone Wars was actually really good.
Could always watch Dune.
I love Dune.
Yeah, I saw that
That
recently. It was pretty good.
It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. I loved how weird it was. I loved the special effects. I loved the scene where the big fat guy is like floating off the table. I love it. I love how all the weirdness. That stuff you wouldn't see that in like a Star Wars movie or like Marvel
Jabba the
movie.
Hutt.
It's weird. I guess Jabba the Hutt. Like, he would be scary though. That's the thing. But Jabba was never scary. He was just this gross slug monster.
I mean, was Star Wars ever really that scary? Outside of a few moments?
It's kind of like I was about to say episode 1. The first one, episode 4, had like scary moments, like the gosh, what is this, Dianaga? Like in the trash compactor. There was some scary stuff, like for a kid especially. I thought the job was their introduction with R2, and R2's like all by himself. I thought that was creepy as a kid. I loved Dune. Quality film. Actually felt like a real movie. I'm glad it was very successful, and I'm glad that they're making a sequel.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Anyway, enough movie talk. we're driving our audiences away.
I have said
I drove
nothing
them all the way.
controversial. I have said nothing controversial.
I've said pretty controversial. And I feel bad for. I don't know if Grizz was joking when he said that. He said "ugh" and he left. Oh, poor Grizz. Love you, man. I love you. Tell me how that Batman Arkham meme video of yours is going.
Have you played the Arkham games?
No, I've played a little bit of Asylum, and I played quite a bit of Night. I've yet to play City.
City
I'm
is
saving
good.
that.
They're
I
really
hear City's the best one.
Yeah, for sure.
I hear that about all of them, that they're good, except for Origins. I hear people don't like Origins.
Yeah, I think I played Origins for like a little bit and I stopped because I didn't like it very much.
It's not. I'm not too big into brawlers, which is why I think I like Knight, because like it was a brawler, but it was also like a fun open world.
You played the Spider-Man PS4 games?
It's 4.
Oh right. You should get on that. That's a really good game. I like the Spider-Man PS4 games.
Ever get a PS4? I might check it out.
Or if you get a PS5.
Or PS5. Well, there's no PS5s. You hear Sony said by recent. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
High demand. There's such a high demand for PS5s that we're remanufacturing PS4s.
Friggin' hell, man. What a weird world we live in. What a weird world. I cannot speak. What a weird world we live in.
I do find it funny how those consoles are like, because we haven't gotten any like profit numbers yet. I'm wondering if they're ever going to release those, because the little secret in the industry, say it's a secret, everybody knows it, is that consoles are sold at a loss, right? It's like the Keurig model.
Yeah.
You sell the base machine at a loss, and then you make it up with games. But nobody's buying games because the only people who own it are scalpers. So, where's all that money going? Like, how are they getting all that money? Like, what are they making any money? Are they making any profits? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Nobody
I
has them.
managed to get a PS5, but that was really lucky, honestly.
How did you get PS5?
I have a membership with PlayStation, like, because, you know, I had a PS4 and I had an account with them. And so, like, they put PlayStation users, they just randomly pulled names out of a hat, or the equivalent, I suppose. And they are like, okay, well, you are chosen amongst however many people to take part in this restock of PlayStation 5s that we have going on. So log on to the website at this time and wait in the queue, and hopefully, and you might get one. And so I randomly was picked, and I got in. I happened to get in and get one. So I honestly, just luck. just luck. You just have to.
I've thought about getting a new console. I just don't see a purpose for it. Like, I have a PC, so like those games I can run on my PC. That's like the reason why I only have a Nintendo Switch. Like, the Nintendo games, like, I have a Switch for that. Like, you know, the good stuff on an Xbox, it's just on PC.
And you've never had Sony, so you wouldn't even know what you're missing anyway. If there was anything good.
Well, there's a lot of Sony stuff is coming to PC. I'm sure you've heard about that.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
The God of War game is coming to PC. And even then, I look at Sony games, I'm just like, it's third-person, you know, game where a guy slowly walks away from the camera. And it's all cinematic. It's like, I don't want that.
And then explosions are behind him, and the Nostalgia Critic theme plays.
Exactly. Oh God, I knew a guy in college who he tried to talk like Kratos.
Oh God.
He'd constantly say it. And I didn't know he was trying to talk like Kratos. He had to explain to me that he was mimicking Kratos.
The poor lad.
He kept saying boy. He said boy. And I thought he would, but like, here's what you need to know. Is he was 5'7". His voice sounded, not to be mean, his voice sounded very similar to yours.
Right.
So it sounded like he was saying it like a meme way, like an internet way, like boy. Like boy, what are you saying? Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it sounded like he was saying it as like an internet meme or something.
Impressions aren't even very impressive, to be honest.
Then I found out that he thought he was being cool.
Oh.
I hope
was he like homeschooled or something, or like did he not have much social awareness?
just a normal dude. I shouldn't even be mean to him. He's like a totally normal guy. It's just I thought that was funny. Because I never mentioned that to him.
I went to college with a guy, who so I was in the theater department because I have a degree in theater.
I don't want to start a whole discussion about us ragging on friends from college, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we'll end it after this, but basically, long and short of it was, for those who don't know, in theater, you need to wear your blacks when you're backstage. Like, you know, wear like a black t-shirt, black pant, like all black, so that the audience doesn't see you as well when the lights go off in between scene transitions and you're moving stuff on stage as backstage crew. So we were told to people working backstage were told to come in black, and he was working backstage. He wasn't a theater student, but he was working with it for credits or something. Anyway, he shows up, and Andy, do you know Sword Art Online?
I know what the show is. I don't know any of the characters or any of the stuff.
He showed up in full cosplay, dressed as the main character from Sword Art Online, who's like wears all black with like silver straps, and he came with the wig and the sword and everything, and I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, I needed an excuse to wear my cosplay, and I'm like, dude.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, just go to a con, bro. Dude, take this a little seriously. Come on, like, dude, you look ridiculous. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I'm not gonna front.
Oh, that's. Oh, why would you tell me? That makes me so. That story makes me. Oh.
What, do you feel secondhand embarrassment?
It does. I do, yeah.
He's fine, I'm sure. He wouldn't do that anymore, probably, maybe.
Brought up the thing with my friend because I know he's not. He's like a normal guy, and you just think it's funny. I thought it was funny. But that he's like socially unaware. That's. We're just making fun of him. I'm.
Oh, I got my papa's in chat. He said I made it to the frickin' sweet epic steampunk level. It's true, I did. My papa's actually... Did I tell you, Andy? My papa's actually the one who told me to play this game in the first place.
Oh. Wait, Nick Herf is your... Oh, by the way, I just said that. That could have got me canceled. He's your papa? What?
Yeah.
Is that your rigger?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he designed my outfit.
Because I kept noticing him in your stream. Because he popped into our Pokemon stream.
Yeah. Him and some other friends of mine, I always convinced to come by the cool streams.
Titus, I thought his name was meant to be a troll. That's how bad the internet has tainted me.
What's wrong with his name that would make you think that he's a troll?
I'm not explaining it to you, Titus.
Oh my god, that's terrible. What the heck? Oh my god, no, that's not.
I've seen enough super chat fails to know. Always be wary of someone whose name is Nick. All I'm saying.
Man, you should never play Ace Attorney, bro. You'll get.
Oh god, really?
Everyone's name in that game is a bad pun, and the main character's name is Nick.
Good old Twitch. Live with you, can't live without you.
Just don't respond to the trolls and you'll be fine. Miles Edgeworth proves huge ass guilty. Actually, you said you don't like visual novels, so you probably would not like Ace Attorney.
I get bored of it, honestly.
That's fair.
Which is why I think it'd be better for streaming, because like then I got my chat, I'm able to like read off the lines. It's like, hey, that'd be kind of fun.
Right.
Yeah, there's like 2 visual novels I'm eyeing for fun Valentine's Day special. Um, one you probably wouldn't get, so I'm not even gonna try to explain that. But the other is actually a fan game that I saw someone post to V about it. It was a total fan-made project for an anime that I happened to watch, and I'm like, oh, I might check that out. That could be fun.
Right.
It's technically fan fiction, which makes it even puts it on a different level of like a little weirdness. But I can't judge it before I check it out.
I don't know if this is how you spell narcissist, but that little eye character in the owl. Yeah, I like them. And it's a dark shifted one too.
Titus, I've spent like the last hour and a half building a map, and I have no idea what I'm going to use it for. Like this corridor, this long corridor, a little vent. I don't know what this is for. Actually, on stream, I recreated a Metroid Prime Hunters multiplayer map on stream. The game, so I can try to do that again, maybe. Creating maps.
Ah, that's a good idea, Nick. I was considering the Fate's Eye for the Andy. I'm trying to nickname a monster that's just like a little eye creature. So Nick was saying I should name it after the eye that the Fates in Greek mythology share to look at the future.
That'd be cool.
I'm going for a deep cut reference. It's not that deep of a cut. So in the story of Theseus, it's Odysseus, when him and his fellow voyagers are trapped on an island with a Cyclops, he tricks the Cyclops into thinking his name is No Man, so that when he yells out in pain when they stab him in the eye, so that they can get away, he screams when his friends ask him, "Hey, what's going on?" He says, "No man stabbed me in the eye," so no one thought anything was wrong, and they got away. So that's my deep cut reference and why I'm calling this eyeball creature No Man. There you go. There's the reasoning.
I love how Greek mythology has the logic of like a 5-year-old.
It really does. Thank you for the hydrate, Redeem. I actually do need water.
Got a nice big water bottle right next to me. I was trying to think of a way to like have a 3D model, but like drink in VC Face or like some 3D program. Like not even a water bottle, but like it'd be funny if it was like a wine glass or like a martini glass. And
Join
then have
Lori
hand tracking.
Calliope in the I Drink Red Wine on Stream Club.
And then have a hand tracking, and then track the object as well. That you can just every now and then I'll take a swig. I think that'd be kind of fun. Although I have no idea how to set that up.
I gotta drink Crystal Pepsi. No, I drank some sparkling water.
Yeah, the Crystal Pepsi challenge for people who were throwing up.
Oh God.
Projectile vomiting.
Oh, Nick, the hydrate is it's part of channel points. When you're an affiliate or higher, you can set up these things called channel points where like viewers gain points slowly over time or for doing different stuff, and you can redeem it for different rewards. It's like the one reward that like the streamer doesn't get paid for, I don't think, but it's like it's just fun, so a lot of people do it. Anyways, you were saying the Crystal Pepsi challenge, people were throwing up?
Projectile vomiting, because there's something with the chemical composition of Crystal Pepsi was that like after a certain amount of time, it would literally just make people throw up if it was old enough. So people were taking these old bottles of Crystal Pepsi and just chugging them and fucking throwing up.
Why are people so dumb?
It's because they're awesome, Titus.
Wait, why did I hatch this?
I have no idea what I'm doing right now. What about making a map, and I've had no progress on it. looking corridor though. Yeah, my model. It seems to be smooth now. It was choppy earlier. After I mentioned how it was smooth. Don't know if it's just internet or maybe the game, like my CPU or something.
This is literally just a dark form version of a monster I already have. So I'm not even gonna give it a unique nickname. I'm just gonna call it Dark Pit. Because it's just a clone.
Wow, it's the dark pit of monsters.
I'm gonna call you Light Pit. I don't know. I can't think of any nicknames for these. I don't know. Do you play Smash?
Not lately, no.
Yeah, I haven't played since like the first DLC pack came out. I'm just not a competitive person, so...
I'm so glad that we're never gonna have to deal with people guessing what the next Smash character is gonna be.
For the next 5 or 6 years.
Until the next Smash game comes out.
Yeah, when the next Smash game comes out, it'll go back to normal. I don't know, there's a certain amount of fun, like, speculating with friends on, like, what the next character will be, and then laughing at each other when, like, the one they want doesn't get in.
It's always going to be an anime boy with a sword. That's always going to be the next.
I'm fine with that.
Character. I hate. No, I shouldn't say how they added.
Tell us how you feel about Fire Emblem. Tell us how you feel about Fire Emblem.
It's also worse that they added Doom Guy as just a meat costume. Come on.
I agree that Doom Guy deserved to be in. I think he would have been a fine candidate. But honestly, I have never had a single issue with any of the sword fighters and any of the Fire Emblem characters get in. And it's not just because I like Fire Emblem. Just genuinely, I do not, as long as the character is from a video game, I don't, like, originates from a video game, I feel like there's ever a reason to genuinely get mad about, like, a character getting in.
It would have been fun to have Doom Guy, just because, like, that would have been the very first, like, exclusively sort of PC FPS. Like, that would have been a character from a completely different lineage of gaming. It's an icon. And that's kind of the whole idea of Smash Bros. It's like, it's all these.
No, I agree with you big time. I think Doom Guy, either Doom Guy or Master Chief would have been a great rep for, like, modern, like, or for, like,
though I think
shooters.
I think I'm guessing Nintendo probably despises Doom Guy, given their history with Doom. So maybe they did that on purpose. I don't know.
It can't be because of maturity, because, I mean, friggin' Bayonetta's in the game, so...
In the 90s, when id Software was working on their Commander Keen game, they sent a prototype to Nintendo, and they wanted to see if Nintendo would work with them to make PC ports of Mario.
Right.
They figured out this technology, and Nintendo could have owned id Software, and they said nope. And id Software went and made a Doom, and Nintendo totally missed out on all that money.
Oof.
Then they also id Software made Quake, and then would go on to make Doom 3. All the while, Nintendo would make the GameCube.
I like the GameCube.
Sold horribly. Didn't make money.
Always the negatives with you, Andy. Always the negatives.
It's hard because it's funny because I was talking about this on my old Metroid streams. There's like old interviews of like Iwata talking about how he thinks the GameCube's gonna do well because Nintendo prioritizes first-party games and games that are exclusive to GameCube. Meanwhile, he's talking about how the PS2 or the PS1 and PlayStation, they're just focusing on getting as many third-party games as possible, getting as many games to the system as possible. And surprise, surprise, PS2 is the best-selling piece of video game hardware in existence because every game came out on the PS2.
Right.
Barely any games came out for the GameCube.
I like Iwata. He did a lot of good things right, but yeah, they definitely miscalculated on the GameCube.
And that's how a console fails. Is just I think people overthink it. People overthink like did the Wii U fail because consumers didn't like a big clunky gamepad? Although that might have actually been the case.
I think people just didn't know it was different from the Wii. At least the average gamer.
That as well, but like, what Wii U games are there? Like, what Wii U games can you genuinely think of?
There are a lot of them, but almost all of them have been ported to the Switch now. So
I'm trying to think of like what Wii U games are there on this? Like, what are the good ones on the Switch? Because I know they ported a lot of them.
I can name off some pretty good Switch game or Wii U games. So on top of getting Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, you have Pikmin 3, you have Wonderful 101, you have Pokken Tournament, you have Hyrule Warriors, you have Mario 3D World. There are a couple other really good ones that I'm just not thinking of right now off the top of my head. Oh, Toad Treasure Tracker, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. That's actually a pretty cute game.
Yeah, it's again. First off, I do like how you started with remakes.
Nintendo Land, genuinely pretty good game.
Failed Hard. I'm talking to Yaka Rings. Failed Hard because developers had the severe downgrading. I mean, we had the same problem, Yako, and that sold like hotcakes. It was. I don't think it was just because the Wii U was downgraded. I think it didn't have a lot of games. It didn't have games. It is the same reason the GameCube failed. It's not a lot of games. I think that's all people care about. That's all people like can talk about. Like this console has backwards compatibility and it does X and Y and it has this different control scheme and it's less powerful. But like Joe Schmo consumer is just like, oh, there's a lot more games in this one. I'll have that one, please. That's also why the PS Vita failed horribly. The PSP had thousands of games, and the Vita, I think, didn't even break like a few hundred.
Right.
But it didn't live long. It didn't live long enough for it to attempt to.
Well, I think the PS Vita, like, yeah, I mean, like, why would you get the Vita when you could get the DS, which has 1,000,000,001 games?
Also, can I say, Yako, you're talking about how the Wii U was underpowered and developers didn't want to try to develop. Developers had a hard time developing games for the Wii U. The exact opposite was true for the PS3, where it was overpowered and had its own weird, like, system archetype or architecture that no developer had experience with. And Sony kind of just thought that developers would overcome these obstacles because the PS2 was so successful, which is why at the start of the 7th gen, everybody went to Xbox. And the PS3 was infamous for not having any games. Even to this day, when with Sony like remastering their old games, like there's a reason why they're not porting. There's a reason why they have to remaster like The Last of Us as opposed to porting it. Because the PS3 was just so broken that any game made for it is incompatible with any modern architecture. Like it was just such a weird system. But they like overclocked it and fitted all this junk to it. And no developer understood how to develop for it, so they just gave up. But anyway, I love dissecting games and consoles to see like how they failed and why they failed. It's so fascinating. Also, there's like, sorry, go ahead.
Honestly, I think more than the lack of it was just a lot of people. I mean, it was just that it didn't have the numbers from casual players that bought up the Wii. Because the Wii got popular because like everyone and their grandma bought it. You know what I mean? But the Wii U didn't really have that. On top of that, a lot of people didn't know it was not just a Wii.
And they also released the Wii Mini like months before it's released. Do you remember that?
I do.
The Wii Mini. I kind of want to get one. I kind of want to get one just for the hell of it. Also, welcome to the stream, Mr. Burke.
Hi, Burke.
Me and Titus are streaming separately. We're dual streaming.
It's like dual wielding, but nerdier.
I was making the dual track joke, or dual track drifting. Like, because the Wii sold really well at the start, and then kind of just petered off near the end because like everybody had one. That might have been it. Like a Wii U, people just thought it was an upgraded Wii. Like, why do we want this? We don't want that. I find it interesting looking back and seeing how like there's a misconception with a lot of consoles on like which console actually sold better than others. And I never knew that the N64 was a very failed console. Like everybody treats it as this like champion of like the 5th gen, when it sold terribly compared to like the PS1, which completely outsold it and was at the time the best-selling game console. Like that I'm fascinated with. Like sales numbers and how like
Right.
how Nintendo was like misread the market, and all of a sudden like they're in last place. They've been in last place for a long time, with the exception just being the Switch. Wii and the Switch and the DS propelled them to victory. The Game Boy. Nintendo fanboys, man.
Multi-stream chatting. Yes,
yeah,
yes, you are. Thank you, Bert. Good to
Part
see
of
you, bud.
Nintendo strat is usually controlling supply for their consoles to make people want it more. Yeah, I get. They did that with their amiibos. They would like intentionally do limited releases. Remember that, Titus? Do you remember the amiibo craze?
Yeah. Haha. Looks at my 7 amiibo or whatever.
Those
However
were
many I have.
Those were the dark days of Nintendo.
I don't mind
The death of
amiibos that much.
It was like the Wii U. Basically, it's the lifespan of the Wii U. That was like when Nintendo was really bad, and just nobody cared about what Nintendo was doing. And Nintendo was also like copyright striking people's YouTube videos about Nintendo, so that also didn't help.
Yeah, they're not great about that.
Those were the dark times. Everybody likes to forget about it.
Oh, I don't know. There's no real point focusing on the past now, is there?
Well, it's fun. I do like, because I mean we see the same stuff happen like in the industry. It's always fun to see like why exactly something is either a failure or success. I'm very fascinated by that.
Right.
Why did the GameCube fail?
Because the PlayStation 2 existed.
Because of Chibi Robo? Is that
No.
the reason it failed? It might have been.
PlayStation 2 existed. That's why.
Yeah, and everything was on the PS2. He had to fight. Titus, or Burke is saying he had to fight for his Squid Sister amiibos.
Oh. Did you seriously have a fight with someone in a parking lot over the Squid Sister amiibos?
One of those like Black Friday videos. People being trampled in a Target.
Except now it's a mud monster, so it's kind of an unfair fight, to be honest.
Good old Nintendo. No idea what I'm doing. I was started creating a map and then I got bored. Now I'm just flying around Forge World. Yeah. You really own amiibo, Titus?
Yeah, I have a few.
You actually.
Let me just count. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8.
7?
8, I think. Most of them I got as like gifts. It's not like I buy them for myself.
Okay. I was about to ask. When did you get them?
The last one was
Dark
years
days?
ago. I saw Ridley amiibo come out after he got announced, and I'm like, Ridley is freaking cool, and this amiibo looks actually pretty cool, so I'm gonna get it, and I did, and yeah, There's only like one or two amiibo I don't have that I would mind. Like if I saw it, I might get it. Like if I found like a Robin amiibo from Fire Emblem Awakening, because I really like Fire Emblem Awakening, and I like Robin, I'd get that. I don't know. They're cool little action figures. I don't really mind them that much. I think like collecting them is kind of like trying to collect every single one of them like compulsively is weird, but I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with them. As long as content's not locked behind them.
I think amiibos are kind of dumb. Went to a retro game store today. Because the guy said that he had a copy of, I think I told you this. They had a copy of Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Yeah.
Can you guess? By the way, can you guess how much it cost?
Several $100.
Metroid Prime Trilogy. No, you overshot. It was $160, just the game.
Not worth it.
But it was the limited edition, though, in the nice steel case. Although I wonder if he gave that to me just because I also bought a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, that whole store was filled. Half of it was cool because it had like, it was kind of like half a museum because they had like these Atari consoles like preserved in these glass cases.
Right.
And Nintendo consoles, and it was neat seeing like these Nintendo consoles running on like CRTs. Because it kind of makes you appreciate them more. But then the other half of the store is Pokemon cards, Funko Pops, and amiibos.
I don't like Funko Pops, but I like trading cards, and I'm fine with amiibos.
Just like, can you fuck off?
Man, Andy, are you okay today, man? Today you've just been like really.
I came in.
Are you like?
I came in hot.
Do you need a hug, Andy?
Dude, I really do. I really do. Also, Yako asks if those amiibos would be worth any money in the future.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Almost definitively not.
It's happened a lot, right? Where people start collecting.
Because I think it'll be worth something, and then it ends up being worth nothing.
It happened with comic books. People thought that all these new issues were gonna, because it was like in the 90s, and they started collecting comic books, thinking that these new characters would become like Superman and Batman like 50 years in the future. And it happened. Someone described it to me where the industry actually reached a point where comics had no value, like they were less that they had negative value. I don't know how that works on an economic standpoint, because they had like a dip, and then it took years for it to come back up. I find that kind of funny. I think the same is probably just because the amiibos, it's not rare. It's just Nintendo just artificially creates scarcity. I don't know if that actually have any value, like 20, 30 years in the future.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. Building a map, and I gave up. I'm trying to make another map, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'm about to go finally try and fight that boss I lost against last time.
McDonald's toys ended with selling a shit ton. I guess. Also, I will say I was browsing that retro game store. They had to reserve a copy of me for my Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Right.
Like, make a reservation for that in advance.
Did you get it, by the way?
I did. I have it.
Awesome. I'll buy it off you for $20.
I was looking at their shelves. Obviously, here's the thing with a retro game store. Their shelves of games is always going to be shit. Like you're very rarely going to see anything cool,
right?
Because it'll be skimmed up by like scalpers. Obviously, not a single good game on their Wii section. But can you guess what game was there?
What?
Good old Metroid Other M.
Rough.
Plain as day, sitting there untouched. I'm like, then I'm thinking to myself like, there's no other games here. If I buy this, I'm the guy who bought Metroid Other M. He didn't go for it.
I mean, come on, like, You know, story aside, the
It's
gameplay
special.
is fine.
I don't even think the gameplay's fun. The gameplay's generic. That's my problem with it. Like, that's why I love Prime, because it's this unique first-person experience. I'm gonna give up map creating. I think I'm just gonna start playing some regular Halo. Are you into retro game collecting, Titus? Do you have any retro consoles?
Yeah, I think I've talked about this before. I have a lot of them. I have a Game Boy Advance SP. I have my 3DS.
Oh yeah, that's right. I asked you and I totally forgot. What
Yeah.
color SP?
Blue. The light blue.
Nice. I got platinum.
Nice, nice.
I went out of my way to find a silver PS2 Slim because I love that color. So I'm just getting into like retro games. Like a lot of my quote unquote retro games like aren't even that retro. Like it's sixth or fifth gen.
Right.
It's like not that far back.
Let's see. What am I gonna give you?
Yeah, I'll play some Fat Kid.
You do that. And we'll do that. That looks good for now.
Oh, good old Fat Kid. Well, how is Monster Sanctuary going, Titus?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good.
How do you say it in like a very sketchy voice?
I'm just working on like skill management.
You need to get skill, then get good.
No, that's not what I meant, but sure, we'll go with that.
Let's get good, bro.
And there. Buff the shields, because that's what's the most important.
Build the Fat Kid.
Alright, for Tiamat. This is just a really good ability. Actions by dragons apply a debuff to all enemies based on element. Yeah, we're gonna do that for sure. That's good. And it's a passive.
God, this game is insane that I'm playing right now.
We'll also do this. What are you doing?
I'm fighting a Fat Kid, and there's hornets and vehicles and all this weirdness. This is what I love about Halo 3. This is what Halo Infinite's lacking, is all these stupid custom games made by like a guy in 10 minutes. Fun that Halo has. I can only play like developer made maps for a certain amount of time before I just get bored.
That's the glory
Halo
of
Infinite.
fan-made stuff.
It has no progression, so there's no point in playing. Back in old Halo, you could either play matchmaking and slowly level up and unlock armor pieces, or you could just play custom games and have fun. And with Infinite, there is no custom games, and there's no progression, so why even play it?
Right.
To get armor pieces, you have to spend money. The worst.
Well, time to go into the boss fight. Alright, we've already seen all this dialogue. Alright, Julia, please just fight us already. Thank you.
Mentioned that we got to do like a Gmod TTT play session at some point. I think we need to do like a Halo custom games night at some point as well.
Sure, I'm down for whatever.
God. Oh.
Let's see. Put you first. We'll put you and you. Get those shields up.
Kill that guy. Fucker's camping the corner of the map. How's this guy killing all of us? One guy.
It's just good.
I love. Is the zombies game mode in this? I'm guessing you know how it works.
Yeah, yeah.
Two zombies spawn and you kill the enemy team and they come to your side. But they're equipped with an energy sword, which if you get in range of a player, you can just lunge right at them. Even if you're like not right next to them, they'll like zoom right towards them. And they have like a split-second chance to react or they're dead immediately, and it's the best weapon in the game. It's so much fun.
Wait a minute.
Thought about doing like Halo game nights with like if I ever get big enough, I'm definitely gonna do that for like subscriber goals.
Yeah, you should.
I saw someone's name pop. Oh, I did see someone's name. Someone's over here. Someone's hiding like a baby. Oh, he's right here. He's hiding in the bushes. That was actually pretty funny. Guys, I need to get you into Halo, man. Oh, I fell off right.
I'm playing Halo 2 as soon as once. Honestly, I'm just waiting on us to do the reviews of the other two first, you know. So I
I'm
don't
already started on.
forget.
I'm playing Dead Space and Kingdom Hearts at the same time. So
That's tonal whiplash, man. That's total whiplash.
But I've played Dead Space before. I know what to expect with that game.
Oh baby, don't go.
Yeah, let me know before you start playing Halo 1, because I still want to give you that quiz. Right before, it's not a quiz, but it's a task right before you start.
Yeah,
I
all
want
right.
to make a point. I want to make a hot take. That guy not die. He took a grab hammer to the face.
Okay, now all my buffs have been applied. Now I can beat the shit out of them.
Spartan's hiding on the side of the map. Yeah, you need to get into Halo, Titus. We need to play some multiplayer together.
Yeah, sounds good.
Even if you're not good at it.
And I'll show you how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you'll start crying, and it'll be great.
We can make each other cry at their respective games.
You know what? Honestly, I'm almost certain I would like Halo more than you would like Yu-Gi-Oh! If for no other reason than trying to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is suffering.
I was gonna say I'd probably agree with that, like 100%.
No, I would never, unless you wanted to. I would never. Modern, especially the modern game, it's too complicated, man. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is spending okay. I won't go too long on to it, but I was playing a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In that new game that came out last night by myself, off stream. There was a guy I was playing. He was playing a modern meta deck, like a competitive one for the game, right? Dude spent, I kid you not, at least 5 minutes just making combos of card plays on his first turn. I literally had not even drawn a card yet. I hadn't even done anything, and it took him like 5 minutes to finish his turn. It was ridiculous.
And was it you who retweeted the meme of like modern, like old school Yu-Gi-Oh players trying to get into the new game?
Yeah.
The game completely dunked on by all the new metas.
Yeah. I mean, the issue with modern Yu-Gi-Oh is it's not like it's like I've been a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh since the beginning. I just don't really I've never really cared about playing the game competitively. I just like the anime and like playing for fun. The thing is, it's not like it's hard for me as someone who's stuck around to understand how all the new rules work for new cards and stuff. That's not the hard part. The problem is that the game is just become a completely different beast. The modern meta game for Yu-Gi-Oh is
Alright, I was in a very tense moment. Sorry, Titus. Continue with. Also, Yako is saying that it's broken as fuck now.
Yeah, for sure.
Played back in the old. She said, "I played back in the old days. I would never play it now."
Yeah, no, it's not. So modern Yu-Gi-Oh is basically you and your you have to set up your field to be completely unbreakable on like by your second turn, and hope your opponent doesn't do the same thing first, because whoever does it first, 95% chance they're gonna win just by having like an unbreakable board and telling you no, you can no longer play the game. That's what modern Yu-Gi-Oh is. In 2 turns, you have to have a completely unbreakable setup so that your opponent basically can't play the game and do the same thing to you, or you pick up all your cards and scoop after trying to set up for 5 minutes. That's how the modern game works. It's
Doesn't
boring.
sound fun to me.
No, it's not. It's boring. It's so boring. Like old Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm not talking about like the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that was like caveman. That was like Oonga Boonga, my monster have bigger number, I beat you, your monster. I'm not talking that old, but like there was a sweet spot in between, like, you're not gonna understand what I mean by this, but there was a sweet spot between the Synchro and the Xyz era of the game. So with like the third and fourth,
that just sounded like you had a stroke.
The third and fourth era of the game, basically. That era of the game, it was complicated, like the kinds of combos and strategies you could come up with, but it wasn't so complicated that like there wasn't room for creative and unique combos or interaction between the opponents. Now it's a completely different story.
Yako is mentioning something about gatekeepers in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know what you mean by that. Actual gatekeepers, or is that a thing in the game?
There's a card called Gate Guardian. I don't think that's what they're talking about, though.
Yeah, probably just actual
gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers, from what I hear, are possible to beat.
Yeah, no, there are plenty of people who just tell you to get good. Like, honestly, like, I've been to, like, actual in-person Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, tournaments.
How did he get in there? There's like 3 Dude, how did you get into that spot? Alright, good.
No, you're good, you're good.
I'm going through something right now, thanks.
I've been to actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, and, like, they are pretty rough. Like, they expect you to be up on tippity top with the meta at the time and know all the card effects of all the newest cards and all the cards that came out before. And if you don't, you're like a fucking scrub. And they hate you. It's a very hostile environment, honestly. Like, I would not recommend.
Is it better or worse than League?
It's better than League, but not by. But that's not very hard to do, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it's a very low margin. Oh, everybody jumps down at the beginning. Guys, you must have no context for what's happening to me right now.
No.
I'm dealing with zombies, and we're hiding in these boxes. Trying to knock us down.
I got my ass handed to me on this boss fight last stream, and I'm destroying them right now. It's amazing what a few levels of grinding will do.
Yako says nothing is worse than League because it's owned by Tencent. Because it's
true.
Who owns Yu-Gi-Oh?
Konami.
I thought Konami, but I didn't think that was right. I find it funny because I looked into it how 4 kids You mentioned it on stream once, how like modern incarnation of 4Kids just exists to localize Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep.
It must be a moneymaker.
I mean, it's a huge, it's like one of the biggest card games in the world. Like behind Magic, I'm pretty sure it is the biggest card game in the world.
Is it? I never thought of it as being that big, but I guess it must be. I wonder how it rates to the other big giants of the industry, like Bakugan and Beyblade.
Oh, Bakugan doesn't stand it. It doesn't. It's not even
That was
close.
a joke. Titus, that was a joke.
Oh, okay. I was gonna.
That's what they in the industry. That's what they call a joke.
I mean, yeah, like other.
Joke, 'cause those were like the two tiniest, like obscure, like rip-offs that I could think of.
The big three are in card games are Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. So.
Yeah. Magic's huge. I had a coworker who was into Magic a lot, and I have no idea how he could stay sane, because he would talk about every day how like they ruined his deck. I was like, I can't play in tournaments anymore because my character isn't allowed or something like that.
I don't play Magic, but I'm pretty sure they have like 1,000,000,001 different formats, so I don't think there's any reason why he couldn't.
They changed the rules for like competitive.
Oh, yeah.
That's something specific they do.
Yeah, no, I don't like this is a stupid reason, but I just don't like the aesthetic of Magic cards, so I just don't play them. I think they're lame looking. They're boring.
Just generic fantasy.
Yeah, they're boring looking to me.
It's some new art for them that looked really awful, because they hired like these weird experimental like minimalist artists. When the whole point of Magic was that cards were like hand painted and they looked like J.R. Tolkien like book covers. Like that, they're awesome. Now they look like clip art. It looks awful. Still can't believe they've done that. So soulless.
Well, I won that boss fight.
You're gonna die here, bros.
All right, BRB. I have to narrate some text again.
All right, Titus is narrating, everybody. Any way to survive on this map? I don't think there is. I think.
Wow, I honestly thought that'd be an easy win against a newcomer like you. Teaches me not to underestimate you. Alright then, you can go ahead and fight that Elder Gel. You've definitely earned it. I gotta admit, the way you managed that fight, that wasn't bad at all. Alright then, you can go ahead and fight that Elder Gel. You've definitely earned it. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna end it off here. I think we made a decent amount of progress today. I know I've been mostly quiet today to accommodate for me and Andy talking. But yeah, I think I've made a decent amount of progress. We beat that boss, and we explored a lot of the steampunk area, as Nick said. So yeah, I think next time we come back, we'll beat the Elder Gel boss, and then we'll go back to finish exploring that steampunk area. So yeah, if you're not already following me on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube, feel free to do so. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Remember to be good to yourself and others as always. This has been your boy Titus signing off. Bye.